V.
Fucking big Sav, man.
If I told you 10 years ago that we'd be sitting here right now. Actually longer, 15. How old are we?
Dude, I'm 30. I'm 30 next year.
I'm 30 in November next year.
Shit, bros.
How old are you? When's your birthday?
May 19.
You're 30 soon.
Yeah. I got a question for you. Do you feel like you're a 30-year-old?
No, but sometimes after like a big session or a big day, I'll wake up and I'll be like, oh no.
Yeah.
Like, I'm getting older. Like I am getting older. I can feel it in my body, but not my like mental.
Yeah. I feel like I went through a phase where I'm like, yeah, like I feel like I'm getting to 30 and I'm not bouncing back the way that I used to, but lately like I've been putting in some fucking intestinal fortitude, bro.
You've been pulling through.
Yeah, well in December I've been to 4 festivals.
Oh, I couldn't do it.
Been to 4 festivals and I've just been flying to different states, so.
I knew I was getting older when I went to Tomorrowland.
Yeah,
I went like, 4 years ago.
We're booking that for this year, eh?
I went 4 years ago and I was like, what a pack of animals. Like I can still sesh for that one day. I think I'm the best one day sesher that's ever been. But now, I used to be able to span it over like 4 days.
Yeah.
But now I cannot psych myself into the second day anymore.
I feel you on that. It's just like if we're going to send it for one day, I'm going to give you the fucking wildest one day.
I'll give you the best 12 hours or 16 hours of your life. But the second day, I reckon I haven't gone back to back in ages, so I don't know if I think I physically could do it, but I think I'd mentally check out before I physically could do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Funny one that I had is like I had my work Christmas party like literally 2 weeks ago. And I went into this club and they played, I was just like, I'm going to take a shot for every time they play Pitbull or they play Flow Rider. And they played Pitbull and Flow Rider back to back for 6 tracks. I was like, all right, just going to smash a shot down. And then security saw me. It's at my work Christmas party. I told my boss like that I learnt my job off YouTube. And she's like, oh, as long as you're getting results, like that's all good, like sweet. And then I've just been like escorted out of our work Christmas party, like at this like fucking whack club that we've been going to. And then securities came, they pulled me out. Manager said to me, I've said to him actually, I've just been like, what do you expect? Like you played Pitbull and Flow Rider for 6 tracks back to back. And then he just cracked up. And he's just like, oh, here's your entry fee back. And like, he just gave me my entry fee back.
What a fucking legend.
And then I was just on me merry way, eh?
What a legend.
Yeah.
What do you do for work now? Just so everyone knows.
So I run a digital marketing agency. Company is called Vortex Media. So I started that in June. And it was just off the back of like learning a little bit about digital marketing and like how much opportunity there is online.
It's so big.
Because there is so much opportunity.
Shout
online,
out to my fucking boy Brandon who does all my clips and shit. Like he doesn't he charges me fuck all and he does a good like service, but there's just so much money. Like he could have 10 other clients and then he's making bank.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and he can do it all in a day. Like, if he just sits down and fucking grinds, he can get 20 clips done in one day.
Yeah.
And make more than fucking the average person in a week.
So, what I specialize in is Google ads.
Yeah.
So, your pay-per-click advertising, you go up, you see the 3 paid ads at the top.
Yeah.
And then you see, like, the paid ads down the bottom. So, when people click on those, it charges them a click. So, I do that. And then I've got Facebook advertising as well, so that's interrupting stuff. So like if someone's just like scrolling on Facebook, and it's good for e-com, like if you've got a product that like it can really grasp onto someone's attention, then you put it in the feed and then bam, like that product will do super well through that.
Do you put them in? And I found with the podcast especially, different apps do better at different times of day as well.
Yeah, straight up,
depending on the algorithm. Like I post on TikTok. I'll post on TikTok about 4 p.m, 5 p.m. I'll post on Instagram roughly the same time, maybe a bit later.
Yeah.
And I'll post on YouTube Shorts at about 9, 10 p.m. at night because I want to get American audience when they're waking up.
Yeah, bro. Like if you're selling crystal dildos, man, you got to do it at 10 p.m.
Yeah, you do. Because that's when all the fucking degenerates are awake. They're just on a 4-day crack bender. I might try it out.
Oh, so I almost started up a crystal business, eh?
Like meth or?
No, not like meth. Not like meth. So I almost started up like a healing crystal.
Oh, that's big.
Crystal business.
That's big.
And I'll let you in on the inside of it. So I dated someone that was running a crystal business, but they weren't doing any marketing. So I brought it into my agency. I was like, oh, like, how do you reckon this would do with marketing? Because they were already making like a couple of grand just organically, right? And I was like, yeah, let's scope out like how it would do on Facebook and like break down the audiences and shit like that. And then when we broke up, it was just like, she hears rumors, just hears rumors around like, oh, Matty V's looking at starting up his own crystal business after she's just been spilling her shit about like, oh, like, you know, this is how I source my crystals. Like, this is how, like, I source.
You just got all the intel.
Yeah, I just got all the intel and then, like, brought it to, like, professionals.
That's fucking hilarious.
And then,
surely that would do well.
And then, like, sourced my logo. So it was called Infinite Vitality.
Oh, that's a good one.
And, like, it's got, like, these praying hands, like, sort of, like, out like
healing
that.
the world.
Then it's got a moon. It's like the most like cliche shit you'd ever see. It's got a moon and then it's got 2 stars and then it's got a big crystal.
But that crowd loves that. They love that.
They do.
It's so niche, and the people that are in that kind of coldy kind of circle with the stones and the fucking crystals, they're willing to splash out $2,000 on a fucking rock.
But here's the funny thing, right? So like with crystals, apparently if you break your crystal, it's like it's bad luck.
Bad.
So you need to replace that crystal
Straight away. So you just fucking botch up these crystals a bit before you sell them. It's perfect.
So I think that's what a lot of companies would do.
Like,
but
they'll
like,
botch them up slightly, like give them a hairline fracture, so if they just drop once, they're fucked.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I had the same supplier as Cleanse & Co, which is like a massive crystal brand in Melbourne. And I was just thinking about like, fuck, like what's the most like generic shit that like people are gonna eat up? I'm like, all right, crystal water bottles. Like, I think, you know, what's more like hitting you like in the soul than you've got a water bottle and then you're setting your intention into it because there's a healing crystal.
And you got that cunt with you all day.
And then you're fucking drinking it.
Yeah.
It's just like fucking manifesting some shit. And then
Is there different crystals in every, like, do you cater it to the person?
Well, they're intuitively chosen.
There's a girl on TikTok that's selling cum pills. Have you seen it?
No.
She makes bang. I watched a video today. I was like, this cannot be real. So I went on a deep dive. She gets people. So say you're with a girl and you want to get her like a legitimate pill, like a ring or a necklace, but like an actual pill necklace.
Yeah.
Not the, like, you send them your cum, you save it up, and she'll send you a vial and you got to fill it up with cum. And it's on TikTok, and she shows you how she makes them, and she turns the cum into like a clay, and then she...
Oi, this is a thing.
And then she molds it into jewelry.
There's no excuse for anyone to be poor right now.
Yeah, there's not. This girl's literally getting you to do all the work. You're sending her the cum, she's turning it into clay, and then she turns it into jewelry, and she charges heaps. And
I know people that sell their bath water.
Oh, I've heard... See, that Belle Delphine used to do that, but people do that still?
And, but the thing is, there is a divide between genders, right? So
no one's buying your bathwater.
Yeah, no one's gonna buy my bathwater, bro.
Bathwater.
But like, as soon as you're a female and like you got some looks behind you, it's just like monetization.
You got the thing though where you're Asian, so that's like a kink for probably some real rich white dudes.
Oh, true. Maybe that's like a market that I fucking needed.
You were the first Asian person I ever met.
Well, the funny thing is, you know how many nationalities people have thought that I am?
What?
They're like, oh yeah.
Maybe a Kiwi.
They're like, oh yeah, you're Māori. I've heard French. Like I've heard European, and like I've grown up, and it's like you would have known. It's like, oh, Asian Matt. Like
yeah, Asian Matt.
And it's just like that's like ingrained in me. And when people come at me with different shit, it's just like, are you fucking with my heritage, bro?
What Asian are you?
Filipino.
You're philo.
So
Delicious.
Philos, man. So Philos, they're pretty much like the Mexicans.
That's a good Asian.
They're the Mexicans of Asia.
We were looking at going to the Philippines next year.
Oh man, like
Have you been?
Yeah, I've been.
I'm purely want to go for the food.
I whip up a bit of Filipino food.
You do?
Yeah, you got sisig.
Sisig. That's what I'm going for. The pig head.
Yeah.
Yeah, with that calamansi.
Lechon.
Lechon's the shit.
Lechon is the shit, bro.
That's like fucking a whole roast pork. Pig, sorry.
They do it on birthdays.
Yeah.
So like if you've got someone's birthday, and it was my birthday like maybe 10 years ago, and my family...
Asians only have a birthday every 10 years, for those who don't know.
Yeah.
Matt's actually only 3 years old next year.
and I fucking act my age, cunt. Yeah. So yeah, on my birthday, like, because my family owns a farm out there, like my family's pretty well off, and I'm talking like I went to my grandma's house and she's got a moat around her house with exotic fish like swimming around.
Where, in the Philippines?
Yeah.
In Manila or?
In Mindanao, in Davao.
No, you lost me.
So it's pretty cool, bro. So like
everywhere's fucking cool over there.
She has her house. She has a moat of exotic fish swimming around her house.
That's the most dope shit I've ever heard.
And then the fucking family lives on the street with all of their houses are there.
No shit.
So the uncles live down there, and it's like the cousins live down there, and they have a minibus, bro. So it's just like if they want to go anywhere, it's just like
cruising together.
The family just jumps
just the squad
just jumps in the minibus. So
a little bit of money go a long way over there, the way.
Yeah. So my granddad was into importing and exporting. So he made bank off of that. And in the Philippines, it's the wife will look after all the finances, and then the man is the breadwinner, right? So my grandma was just really good at like maneuvering maneuvering the cash. Dude, she's 97 and still
kicking.
Still does her accounting, bro.
No shit.
Still does
what a fucking babe. Good on her.
Do you know what is actually crazy? She's been shot in the head.
What do you mean?
Dude.
What do you mean?
No, she's been shot in the head, and she has no eye. She lived. She's 97.
When did she get shot in the head?
Would have been 40 something years ago. But
that's still old to just because she's 97. She was fucking 57. That's still pretty hectic.
So the maids, like, because we had a safe, like in the Philippines, and like
they tried to grab that shit.
Yeah, they tried to grab that shit. So they got like all of my mum and like all of her siblings, and they like tied them up, and then like they walked my grandma to the safe, and they asked her to say the combination, and she wouldn't say it. So they just, and then like my mum like watched her grandma like that shit happen. And
I shouldn't be laughing, but that's just so hectic.
No, but it's cool because my grandma is such a boss.
What a G.
My grandma is such a boss.
I would have said that combination in 3.2 seconds.
Nah, she wouldn't give that shit.
I would have fucking screamed it.
Oh yeah, I can feel like 50 Cent, Hustler's Ambition, just playing over the top of that clip, just like doo-doo-doo.
What's her name?
Clara.
Clara.
Yeah.
Toast to Clara. Fucking the G.
Yeah, straight up.
What a
man.
G unit. That's fucking
Straight
dope.
up. I know. And like she's just an inspirational woman, man, like living through all of that, like maneuvering all the cash and like sorting out our family up there.
Does
like,
your parents live there, or they just go back a lot?
My mum lives in Wellington. So, dude, I went over there like a couple... Wellington, it's like near Murray Bridge. I went over there a couple of days ago, and it's flooding up there, bro.
Yeah, I seen that picture you put on Instagram. Where and I was like, what do you mean it's supposed to not be water? Because there's fucking water everywhere. That
was
you?
Streets.
Yeah, that's fucking hectic.
That was streets. So it's literally like the water is that high. There's swans just inhabiting it now. Like,
What the fuck?
yeah, there's like, I'm not talking like there's one swan. There's like fucking 20 of them.
I personally apologise to South Australia because like 4 days before that this has all happened.
No, I saw it. I saw it.
I was saying to my missus, and then I said it on the podcast, and I must have just fucking jinxed him because
There's someone with a voodoo doll just
Bro.
like, oh, we were just waiting for somebody to doubt us. Here you go, SA.
I had a wedding on a Saturday that like the Saturday it all went bad, and we were driving on Lonsdale Highway in an Uber, and we had to fucking pull over because Lonsdale Highway started to flood, and we couldn't see like a meter in front of the car.
What have you done,
So
Sam?
there was like
What
a
have you
million.
done?
Well, look, mate, it's fucking. At least we know we can get through it now. We've been through an actual natural disaster. I'm sorry, but I was not happy with all these fake earthquakes we were having.
No.
Well, you're in Queensland now. You cop a real fucking natural disaster, wouldn't you?
Not when you're in an apartment. It's just like, no matter what
What about the
happens.
floods? Did you see some hectic shit with the floods over there?
So with the floods, bro, like they shut the ferry off. I'm in Newstead, so like there's river and whatnot there. So they shut that off, and it was flooded all that way. But where I was, like, didn't get to it. I was just hoping it was the ice edge, bro.
You can work from home
Yeah.
essentially. So see, that's the best thing about marketing, isn't it?
Oh,
Digital
man.
marketing.
So you can wake up in the morning.
You can
right?
make if you're like an elite wizard on the computer, you can make $10,000 in one day and not leave your bed.
Yeah. So like
There's no other job.
Sometimes it's like I've got like my battle station where I've got my 2 screens and whatnot. Then I have my laptop, and then like what I'll usually do is wake up at like 9, just roll over, like still in a daze, like grab my laptop, just like check my emails and whatnot for about an hour, and then like I'll slowly migrate over to my desk as I get more
And
energy.
that's when you get to work. That's so good.
Yeah. And like sometimes I feel like I'm cheating the system a bit.
That's just internet money though.
I'm cheating the system because I know people are out there and they're fucking slogging. They're slogging. And I'm just like, oh yeah, like this is a task that I've got to get from my laptop to my desktop that's over there.
It's just internet money though, dude. I remember like my 3rd or 4th podcast I did. When I did the podcast initially, I got held trigger happy and I started inviting people on. Like I just messaged all these famous people or like people that I find famous.
Yeah.
And like 3 of them replied and I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. Like, and one of them was this YouTuber I fucking love. His name's Senpai Kai. Shout out to Kai. He does food shorts, and he got onto it really early, so he exploded. He's got like 800 or something thousand subscribers. He's pretty big.
Nice.
And he hit me back straight away, and I'm like, dude, I don't know how to do a podcast over like the internet. So we did one, and it's like my 3rd or 4th one.
You do it through Zoom?
Yeah, no, I did it through
OBS?
No, it was this. There's this. It's not Riverside. There's another company. The watermark's on the video, and it's like a interface where you can do it, and it just makes it easier to record both ends and shit.
Yeah.
But it's poor quality, so I'd do it way different this time. But yeah. So we did that, and he was just saying like, dude, I went from this to this amount of subscribers with one video, and ever since then I've been making X amount of dollars, and it's not even real. Like it's like I'm like, he's like, it doesn't make any sense. Like it's just internet money, it's YouTube money, it's not real. It's like they just throw money at you. You obviously have to hustle to get there, but he's making like 80,000 say American a year, and he's not doing much.
Well, I think the thing is, and this is what I'm like going into 2023 as a plan, is attention. Like attention is like the most valuable currency you can get. And I don't care what anyone says. If you get attention in a bad way, if you get attention in a good way, if you have attention, you have an audience.
Yeah.
You have an audience no matter what. And if you have a position with an audience that you have that you can market to that audience, like imagine like how many influencers out there, and there's so many products that like come out. If an influencer has an audience and they're engaged or whatnot, they're social proofed already. They're social proof because they have the followers. they can push a product out, and that product is way more likely to be successful than somebody that's just starting it, that's like, oh, like, I don't know about social media, like, I don't know if it's my thing, which is pretty common in our generation, right? Because we came up in a generation where it's just like social media was a new thing.
I reckon our generation copped it the hardest because we went from having no social media to being the kids that it was basically experimenting on.
Yeah, exactly.
Like our year level was the kids that social media was experimenting on.
But aren't you like thankful about that at the
Do
same
you
time?
know how many old men probably seen my penis when I was like 12 on MSN? You think you're talking to a girl? Do you know exactly what I'm talking about? Yeah. Like, you go on MSN.
It still happens to me now, bro. I'm not gonna lie.
You go on MSN when you're a kid, and you're like, "Oh, this girl's talking to me," and you're like, you're like, "Put your camera on," and she's like, "No, I'm tired," and then you put yours on. And then in your head, you can't fathom the fact that there is a 62-year-old fucking man that just got out of prison for pedophilia on the other side, because that wasn't a thing. So we were the test rabbits for all of this shit.
I'm gonna break some shit out, Sav. So, I've been on Tinder before, right? And then I've had a chick message me, and like she's made it look proper legit.
Oh no.
Proper legit. And then they've built up their gram and stuff, so they have followers. And then like it's gone on to Snapchat, and then they're fucking like, I didn't realize, I thought anything that you sent has to be in real time if you send it as a snap.
You didn't know you could take things from your camera roll.
I didn't know, bro. And I've come in fucking plastered, like, after a night out. And, like, I've got, like, some fucking chick sending me some photos and some videos of some shit. And she's, like, asking me to send some stuff. And I was just like, fine, I'll do it.
Did she ask you for money?
No, and then, like, she sends me, I kid you not, bro, it's like a bunch of angry faces. She's like, I'm going to take you down. She's like, oh, I will show you, like, the way that, like, the amount that I'm willing to go to take you down. And then she starts screenshotting all of my, like, close friends on Instagram. And then she's just like, don't play with me. Like, if you don't send me this much money...
My dude. Yeah, well, how recent was this? Because I won't say.
It was like a month ago.
I won't say his name.
It was after my Christmas party, after I had the shots for Flow Rider and Pitbull.
Dude, there is a scam.
And almost got rolled, bro.
This scam is going around hard because a friend of mine, he was doing the same thing. She was sending him nudes and he was sending her nudes, and she screenshot them all. And she was like, "If you don't send me this money, I'm going to send them to all of your friends." And he's like, what do you mean? And then she fucking made an Instagram group chat. And she's like, you better send me the money. And he's like, wrong person, love. And because like, she's done it to the wrong person because he does not care if everyone sees his cock.
No, that's the thing. Like, she threatened me and I was just like, block. I was just like, at that point, I'm like, whatever the fuck happens.
So that's a legit thing going around. So boys, be careful. If it's too good to be true, it's too good to be true.
Yeah.
And they'll probably try and catch you on like on a Sunday at 2 a.m. when you're just fresh off of a bender.
So boys, like any chick that you're talking to, or like anyone that you're like looking to date, just know there could be like the deciding factor that it's just a pedophile in
Russian man or a Russian man
basement. And he wants to get you in a fucking Dagestani handcuff. He's like, I will smash you, boy.
Oh, I can't wait for that card.
Oh, I know.
It's going to be good.
So, what do you reckon is going to happen? Volkanovski and Islam?
It depends. If Islam shoots for a takedown and Volk stuffs it, I'm going to punch whoever's next to me out of excitement.
I will exactly the same. And the thing is, Volk is so he's so compact.
Athletic.
He's so compact as well.
He's so athletic and he's so small and he's so strong. He would be so strong.
So, like, if you think about Israel Adesanya and his takedown defense, what if Volk has very similar takedown defense, but he just has a lower center of gravity?
I don't know. I just feel like he's going to be hard. He's definitely going to get taken down. I just don't know how. I hope he can't get. Like, I hope he just bounces back up. Yeah. That's what I reckon. Islam's going to take him down a few times.
Volk will have him on the feet.
But Volk will bash him on the feet. Bash him.
Yeah.
There's no question. And if he can just jab him and just get in and out and in and out, and just fucking give him a knee if he shoots in and Volk gives him a nice knee and deters him from like just shooting in recklessly, it's going to be a crazy fight.
I think like Israel used to be my favorite fighter, and I still love Izzy a lot. And a lot of people will like give him shit for boring fights, but the thing is, like, it takes a lot of skill for like him to defend his title in that way as well.
He's fighting the best in the world.
Yeah,
it's crazy. Do you know? So
he's fighting the best in the world. 100%.
You know the bold guy I was talking to on our table before when I picked you up.
Yeah, Reese. Yeah,
Reef.
Reef. Yeah,
he's really close with this Steve Behan guy, and they were training partners together.
Yeah,
and Steve Behan fought Izzy.
What?
And Reef was one of his main training partners for that.
Fucking hell.
Yeah.
Yeah, I this actually might have been on your pod. Like, someone was talking about...
That's that fight.
Ah.
That's that fight.
True.
Yeah, so Behan fought him, and he fought him to decision.
Fuck.
And he didn't get belted, apparently. He lost. Like, he clearly lost, but he didn't get belted. But this would have been 10 plus years ago.
What about the guy that beat Volk?
Crazy.
He's a crane operator.
Yeah, and I remember I seen an article about him because they were like,
that's a story at the pub, eh? Like, I beat the pound for pound in the world.
He's like, he would beat the fuck out of me now.
Yeah.
But he's still 1-0 against me.
Just imagine if he's just like the most big glob of a bloke ever.
He would be. Apparently, like, he's the best fighter in the world. Like, I'm not better than him, but I was just better that night.
He just rolls into the pub like fucking...
What a story, though.
Jabba the Hutt. Like, just fat as fuck.
He just goes to fuck. He's going to be there at Perth front row. You suck.
he's just like, oi, bro, I fucking beat Volk back in the day.
But imagine you see this cunt at a pub in like fucking Wollongong or wherever the fuck the cunt's from.
Yeah.
And he's just blackout drunk in his fucking high vis, and he's like, see that bloke on the TV? I bet him in a fight.
He would have said that so
and everyone would be like, Darren, no you didn't, shut the fuck up. And he's like, I did, have a look. And there it is.
Yeah.
But fucking hell, that was ages ago. That was in I think that was on the right.
Volk's record in UFC is fucking impressive, man.
It's like 11.
And the thing I like about Volk is, like, he had so many doubters.
I doubted him.
I doubted him too. It was like he had... Like, he earned my respect over
He levels up every single time. Like, he just looks better every single time he goes out there.
The Ortega fight for me, I remember...
That was the one.
Like, I was, like, in the midst of Sesh, like, hadn't slept and whatnot, and then I had, like, the boys come over, and then, like, I remember I still had, like, as much energy as anything, because, like, fucking any time a UFC's card's on, I'm just pumped as fuck. And, yeah, man, seeing T-City just, like, get him in that choke. Oh, I was like, fuck, dude. Like, this cunt he's losing the title.
I was in my bed.
He's losing the title.
I was in my bed watching it, and my missus gets in. She'll watch a fight, but she doesn't get into it. And I remember I was like this. Oh, my God! And then she's like, what? And I was like... He's lost the title. He's lost the fucking title. He's lost. And then he got out, and I remember I jumped on my fucking bed and I started just punching there and shit. And then by the end of that round,
I was standing up, bro.
When Volk was on top of him, beating the fuck out of him, even my missus was on the bed. She was like, "Kill him!
Yeah,
just fucking kill him,
dude."
That was hectic.
Do you know what one of my favorite fights is? Is Dominic Cruz versus Cody Garbrandt.
Oh, Cody Garbrandt looked so fucking good in that fight. What happened to that cunt?
What happened to that cunt?
It was TJ Dillashaw that he just changed his life.
In that fight,
he was winning.
Dominic Cruz, he's got his fucking weird footwork
his
and
little
shit.
Footwork.
And then fucking Cody Garbrandt comes
ducking
in
and weaving,
and then fucking schools him at his own game, but does it in style.
And then he just caught CTE. I don't know. He just must have like walked past fucking Tony Ferguson.
How do you go from fucking popping and locking and fucking punching some cunt and literally schooling him for 5 rounds of a title fight.
He was beating TJ in the first fight. He almost knocked him out, and then he fucking got trigger happy and just died.
I had so high hopes for Garbrandt, man.
He's lost.
When he knocked out a Sunsao, it's like, all right.
With that, and he fucking he just ducked. He loaded up his right hand and boof. And then, so he's like 7-1 or 6-1.
Yeah.
He hasn't. There was a Sunsao fight, the only fight he's won since he was champ.
Yeah.
How fucking horrible. That's sad.
And then he went down to flyweight, bro, and it was like Kara France. I love Kara France.
Oh, I cannot believe.
I love Kara France.
Oh, he pulled out of Perth.
So did Costa and Whitaker.
That card is slowly crumbling.
I know.
It is. It's slowly fucking crumbling.
Fuck. Like, to save that card, like, I'll go in and fight Whitaker. Like, if it serves for entertainment value, and like, this is a lot of how I feel in life, bro. I was just like, I'll just do shit for the story.
Yeah, but I don't they need to just put someone on the card. Australia deserves it.
But you know Whitaker is not going to jump into that card now.
Comes up, put his fucking name down to fight Whitaker.
Whitaker's already eaten cake for Christmas.
Yeah, he's done. Fuck. Why can't he just do Australia sorted? Just take the fight with comes up. It's a good fight for him. That's a good fight.
Who do you reckon wins that?
Honestly,
Whitaker's an anti-wrestler, man.
That's the thing. I wouldn't put money on Kamzat. Like, I think he would win, but Whitaker could beat him easy.
Kamzat's got that chain wrestling.
Yeah, but he doesn't have that 5-round 3-round card. I don't think because Robert Whitaker's got such a high pace.
How fucking good was Burns and Kamzat?
My favourite comes up fight was Li Jing Liang.
Oh, yeah,
He
dude.
picked that cunt up like a fucking 12-year-old and ran him to his corner, and then he was talking to Dana White while he was beating the fuck out of him.
When Kamzat first came on the scene, like when he had that fight, and then it was like 8 days after, like he jumped.
Yeah, on Fight Island.
He jumped up in weight, and then he fought somebody else.
In 8 days or something.
I was just like, who is this
I've
cunt?
never heard about him ever.
Yeah,
and then he fought like fucking 2 weeks after that.
And then Mearshart, when he fought Jared Mearshart.
And he knocked him the fuck out. Yeah.
And it's like first round. It was the first strike he threw, I'm pretty sure. Just
He wasn't it his first four fights he absorbed 0 strikes. And it was all from the Burns fight. That's when he got hit. But even that Burns fight, do you know how fucking impressed? Everyone's like, oh, he fucking.
Yeah. Oh, he's a human. Do you know how fucking hard it is to fight Burns?
Yeah, but he went from fighting fucking Li Jing Liang, who's probably not ranked number fucking 16 or 15.
He didn't get to show his suit, bro.
He didn't get to show his suit, the poor cunt. But he went from fighting him to fighting the number fucking 2 or 3 welterweight in the fucking world.
Yeah.
He's the 3rd best fighter at that weight class in the world, and he went up and he fucking went toe to toe with him.
And the fuck thing is, he wasn't listening to his coaches that much.
He just full wigged out and just but then he can stand and bang.
Yeah,
Like,
he can stand and bang without a strategy.
Because Gilbert Burns is the epitome of fucking stand and bang.
Dude, have you ever watched Gilbert Burns' training?
Work it. I always say that. I always say if you know about Gilbert Burns, don't watch his fights. Go on YouTube and watch his training montages. There is no one that looks more terrifying in the training room than him.
I watched that and I'm like, I'm
a fat piece of shit.
You put yourself into his shoes and you're like, I would have died after fucking
he'll be on
rounds.
the sled, just fucking pumping it, sweat pumping out, and then he'll go and he'll hit like fucking 300 strikes on the bag, and then he has like a no rest break, and then he's hitting fucking 50 push-ups, and then he's back on the sled, and then he's doing 10 rounds of fucking. His cardio's insane.
I think Gilbert Burns gives fucking anyone at welterweight a problem.
Yeah, he's not an easy fight.
Anyone.
He's not an easy fight at all.
Like, if he can do that to Kamzat, like, you saw his fight with Usman. Like, I reckon if him and Usman fight, like, out of 10 times, I think Burns
3 or 4 times might win.
I think Burns will win a few of them, eh?
So he comes. I remember when I was watching fucking Leon and Usman. Mate, I was falling asleep on my bed. I was like,
pound for pound. Headshot, dead.
My missus was like next to me in bed, and I was just watching it, and I was like, "What a waste! Like, what a fucking waste!"
John Anik.
And as that's my intro on my podcast.
Oh, dude.
That clip, if at the first, like when I walk into the pub on my intro, you can hear that in the background.
Oh, dude.
And then all I remember is looking, and I'm like, I didn't even hear. I was just like, the whole world just went, because I was like, no way.
Do you watch fights and do you feel physical symptoms when you watch a fight?
It depends who I'm watching.
Oh, my ears go numb.
Like on a Conor McGregor card, I'll get goosebumps during the walkout.
Yeah.
Like, because it's just such a big event. Like, it's such a big
What do you reckon about Conor McGregor at middleweight?
I reckon Conor McGregor at heavyweight is going to be the guy. He's a juicy motherfucker. He's a big
Just
cunt.
give him all the trend, give him all the test.
Do you know what? Good on him. I don't give a fuck. If you make fucking $500 million, I don't want to get punched in the head either. I want to do cocaine on a yacht.
Yeah. But like, what's more impressive is if you're doing cocaine on a yacht and then you're just rolling in and knocking a cunt out.
And he still talks shit about. He's the ultimate villain.
But do you know who does that? It's fucking John Jones.
John Jones is the GOAT.
So John Jones, he went on JRE and he's like, a week before my fights,
Banging
like
up cocaine.
I make sure that I get as fucked up as
So if I lose, I've got an excuse. But he's like, I've never lost.
And then like, if you ask people what their fucking favorite fights are, it's just like, it's Gustafsson and Jones is up there. And like, if you have that pretense of fucking watching that podcast and then looking at that fight, you're just like, this cunt was fucking probably out of his mind until Thursday.
Do you know what's fucking hilarious? People think John Jones is deteriorating because he's had some close fights. Like, he's that good that he's not meant to have close fights. Like, if John Jones has a fight where he won, but he got tested, he's shit.
Yeah.
Like, that's how good he is. If he doesn't clean the house with people think he's shit.
People don't remember how fucking
Bro, he has
dominant that
the
cunt was.
best resume in MMA history.
23, fucking Mauricio Shogun Rua.
Let's bring up his fucking resume right now.
Bam. Just like 23-year-old kid, like on the come up, Shogun Rua down. He said like...
And he started the fight with a fucking... No. I'm thinking of a different fight. I thought he started it with a flying fucking knee or something. I can't remember.
He said the only person he's ever been scared of fighting was Rampage. He's just like, I was shit myself.
Yeah, he's a fucking animal though.
Do you remember in The Ultimate Fighter when Rampage just fucking destroyed that door?
The clip of it where he gets hell aggro and he's beat. But it looks like the door's made of fucking I don't know. It's probably like a solid timber door.
Do you reckon they told him beforehand?
Wait, what? Wikipedia is not for sale. A personal appeal from Jimmy Wade. That's so weird. You can buy people's Wikipedias?
Oh, then you can just talk mad shit.
Mixed martial arts career. Here we go. Where's his fucking record?
It's something fucked up, eh?
What the fuck's going on? I should have gone on Sherdog.
Reyes and Jones was close.
Reyes and Jones.
That
See,
was
I
close.
watched it back and I thought Jones won.
I thought Jones won too, but it was close.
I thought he won. I don't know. So we'll date it back. No, we'll go from the start.
What is the closest fight?
Gustafsson
Won. What do you think is the biggest robbery?
In MMA history. Paddy Pimblett.
Yeah.
That cunt's not a good fighter. He's
No,
not good.
he's not. He's not.
horrible. And his marketing's not good. He's a fucking wanker. Like, listening to him talk, it's not like I want to watch him lose. It's like I don't want to see you on TV. Like,
Yeah.
I don't, like, it's not like a Floyd Mayweather effect where I'm going to pay to see him lose. Because he just sounds like a fucking idiot.
So the thing about Paddy is a lot of my mates gave me shit because I was like, it was a close fight, but I was looking at it in the way that Jared Gordon, he left it up to the judges.
Yeah, he beat the fuck out of him, though.
He beat the fuck out of
He
him.
won all 3 rounds.
But like, if you're thinking, because these judges are fucked, right? They're fucked. The criteria of damage. The criteria of damage is such a it's such a variable thing. Such a variable thing.
It's not even what's his name? Sal D'Amato? I don't know. The one that really fucked it up.
Yes. No. It's Doug whatever. So he actually was in talks about a fight on Bellator.
Yeah, it was a one Archuleta, or it was fucking one of them. It wasn't Patricio Pitbull, it wasn't AJ McKee. Oh no, it was Italian bloke, Sabatori.
Yeah, Sabatori. So,
because he fucked that card up too.
Yeah, he fucked
but
that
he
card
does
up.
things. But apparently, he does things to try and sway things in the way he knows the promoter wants it to go. As if Dana White gives a fuck if Paddy Pimblett wins.
So that's sort of what I was saying. Like, if you fight someone like a Sean O'Malley or a Paddy Pimblett, like, you've got
do
it.
you know what? Sean
Sean
O'Malley lost his last fucking fight.
You have to make it decisive. Because Sean O'Malley, I reckon Sean O'Malley, he lost round 1 and 2. He won round 3.
Fucking know that, but he still lost.
But damage trumps all. Like, in the rules, damage will trump all.
Yeah, but you have to do it round by round. It does, like, damage doesn't accumulate. Like, you have to.
It doesn't accumulate.
You know what I mean?
Do you reckon they scored that elbow for damage as a 10-8?
Yeah, but you can't. Like, a 10-8's like there. A 10-8's there almost like 4 more strikes and they're knocked out. But that Paddy Pimblett fight, he got belted.
Yeah.
Like, you could see you could see from his body language, because he holds his chin so fucking high and he's so off balance all the time because he's a fucking spaz. Like, every time Jared Gordon would punch him, his jaw would fucking swing and he'd have such a big reaction.
Do you see those animations on YouTube, the Muhammad or whatever? And, like, he does these animations of, like, after the UFC cards and stuff.
No.
Oh, man, they are fucking so funny.
No, I haven't.
I got to show you them. So it's just, like, after the fight, like, Paddy's, like, super fat. And then, like, he's got his chin up in the air. And then, like, Dana's just, like, slapping him in the face.
And then
he's like, they use clips of, like, when they've spoken before. He's like, we got to stop this. Like, this is a problem. This is a problem in the sport. And then Dana's, like, slapping his chin. Like,
he's just
getting his chin to come down. He's like,
just a fuckwit.
He's like, I'm the new cash cow. I'm the new cash cow.
He thinks he's Conor McGregor. Conor McGregor in his fucking 3rd, 4th fight in the UFC knocked out Dustin Poirier in fucking 1 round.
Do you know who is cringe as fuck, though? Is Ian Gary.
See, at least he's a good fighter, though.
He's a good fighter, but he's just like,
horrible on the mic.
Like, this is the takeover part.
Yeah, he's horrible. No one's ever going to be Conor.
Yeah, it's just like, that lane has happened.
Yeah, you got to just be a good fighter now.
Establish your own fucking lane.
Well,
who do you think is the best fighter in the UFC
at the moment? Pound for pound, Alex Volkanovski.
Me too.
Or upcoming, it would have to be Kamzat.
Kamzat's good.
Or
I like I reckon Topuria is really good.
Toporia's a fucking animal. But there's another what's that guy, Rachmanov?
Dude.
Rachmanov. He's a fucking silent assassin.
Do you know how nobody wants to fight Kamzat at the moment?
No one wants to fight Rachmanov.
Fucking Rachmanov versus Kamzat?
Nah, they're gonna fucking tee that up when one of them's champ, because that's a super fight, dude. That's a super fight, animals. And
I've watched some of Rachmanov's fights back.
I think it's Rachmanov, is it? Is his name Rachmanov?
Yeah,
you know,
Rachmanov.
His fights are so one-sided. No one, like, you forget about him.
No, but like the technical,
he's an animal.
The technical decisions that he makes. So Rachmanov in his not his last fight, but the fight before, he was like making reads on his opponent, and he threw a spinning back kick to the body to see how his opponent reacted and like where he put his hands, and he noticed that like the guard, like, he was leaving his head open for that, so he threw a spinning back kick to the body and then read that the head was open from that, and then he threw a spinning back kick to the head, knocked him out, and then ground and pounded him.
Fucking animal, man. And apparently his ground game's as good.
His ground game's fucking sick.
Well, he's fucking a Manov, or he's like, you know what I mean? Like, he's from that part. So his wrestling's gonna be good.
It's just like, if you're not from that part, it's like, do we really have a chance?
Three plus syllables. Volk. If you got 3+ syllables in your last name, you can wrestle.
I love Volk, man. I fucking love Volk. And he's like saying that he's got like a bunch of wrestlers in for his camp.
Well, he's got his main. Not his main, but one of the boys that is there training with him right now is Craig Jones, who's his brother is one of the head coaches at M16 where I train in Seaford.
Oh, yeah. If I move back to Adelaide, I'm going to train there.
So Craig...
Do you train at M16?
Yeah. So Craig's brother is like the M16 is an affiliate of Craig Jones. So he came down and I was talking to Adam and he's there every day. And
we might be training partners soon, bro.
Fuck that, I don't do jiu-jitsu. I can't do it. It's too aggressive. It's so aggressive.
Dude, I got tapped out by a 13-year-old last time I was there.
I don't have time to be that upset.
It's so hard,
I want to go to train and feel good after. I don't want to go cry in my fucking car because some 12-year-old's just beating the fuck out of me.
And I jumped into jiu-jitsu when it was they're at the end of they're trying the hard shit and they've got fights coming up the XFC or whatever. And
you don't want to be there.
So yeah, it's just you go in and it's just a fucking roll into this armbar and then you get teed up with two people and I go with my mate Bryce and we look at each other and we're just because there's a big fan, it's and he's Brazilian as well, so I can't hear anything he's saying, nothing. I'm did you hear what he just said? And my mate Bryce is nah, I don't know what to do. So I get teed up with this kid Noah. He's 14 and he's a fucking weapon, bro. He's such a weapon.
And they don't have any fear at that age.
He's such a weapon. Yeah. So I get teed up and then I'm just trying to do this move with him for ages. And then it's just then they say this when you come into MMA. It's just you're going to forget whatever you do, you're going to forget it for 2 months, but then it's going to start becoming muscle memory. But yeah, do that, and then we're all teed up against the wall, and then it's just you got to roll. And then from there, man, it's just I'm just thinking back to every sub I've seen in UFC and how it happened. I'm just DAS choke. And then, there was some guys just where'd you learn how to DAS choke? I'm
my boy Tony.
Yeah, my boy my boy T Ferg, bro. My boy T Ferg. They're yeah, you've done this before. I'm
Tony is...
I've just watched a lot of fights.
Tony Ferguson, I used to get uncomfortably high and just watch his interviews because it makes no sense. And
do you know what he reminds me of? When you speak to a crackhead...
Yeah, and they're just rambling.
And they talk about a subject, but they change it.
At mid-sentence?
Yeah. And it's just after...
But then they'll come
you're
back...
so bamboozled, you're just what topic are you talking about, bro?
And then they'll come back to the topic 3 sentences later after 4 different kind of topic changes, and you're okay, I've not followed any of this. That's it. That's the best explanation of Tony Ferguson I've ever heard.
That's a great sales tactic because...
you get them confused.
Because I was in sales so what happened with me is I got into some shit when I was younger, and then from there I was I got no qualifications, didn't pass year 12, didn't do anything, got caught drug dealing, I was just a sketchy motherfucker. So I moved out to Murray Bridge and then I worked at a meatworks for 3 years.
The meth capital of South Australia.
Yeah, I was on curfew as well, and then my job when I was there is I was picking sheep stomachs.
No shit.
Up off of the floor for 9-10 hours. And then I was thinking about the whole time about going to jail. I'm oh God, I'm going to jail, and I've moved to a place that I don't know anybody. And from there, I ended up becoming supervisor of the meatworks, and they get people in from China and they pay them fuck all. I saw their pay slips, bro. It was literally they're paying these cunts $11 an hour and they're making them work 4 hours overtime.
And they wouldn't know any better because that's probably a good wage.
Yeah, so they send it back to their family and they all live in a garage. They all get cooped up in a garage and they just live there and they pay fucking shitloads of rent. Fucking work all these hours at the meatworks.
Proper fucking slave labour.
Yeah. And what was fucking tough for me, man, is working at this meatworks and having a walkie-talkie and then having to report instructions to people that don't speak English. So I'm just oh yeah, we need some number 1 boxes for this aisle or whatever. And they'll be like, huh? Like they just don't get it. I'm like, this is fucked, cunt. And there was one guy, Eddie, and he like needed to grab, because we had pallets of boxes. He needed to grab some pallets of boxes, but he didn't have a forklift license, and we needed someone that needed to drive a forklift. And he just decided upon himself, like, just to jump in this forklift and like fucking just get the boxes. So I remember, like, clear as day, bro, like fucking he just got in the forklift and just fucking crashed it into the wall, just like fucking, like, all the bricks are out. And he's like, this car drive good. This car drive good. I'm like, fuck, like, I'm gonna have to
Fuck
Eddie, bro. And then, like, but he ended up getting the boxes in the end.
He did.
Yeah.
That's the thing about Asians, especially Chinese. They won't stop till they get the job done.
And, like, after time, like, they started understanding me a little bit more. I was like, fuck yeah, like, I know how to report a command, and like they're gonna get that shit done. And then I had the supervisors at the meat works, like, they're English, they can speak English, whatever, and they're yelling at me. But like at that point, I was like, I know I'm not gonna be here forever. I used to listen to sales training books, like, in my headphones, because I'm like, I don't have a uni degree, I don't have nothing. Like, what am I gonna do from here? I'm like I almost went to jail for 25 years for drug dealing. So I was like, sales. It's like something that you can do, and like you don't need a qualification.
You
for
already
it.
have like a background in sales from
No,
drug
like,
dealing.
Well, yeah, exactly. You got a fucking background from it. So I started listening to Jordan Belfort, like Straight Line Persuasion, and like all these.
Is he that good at sales? Oh, obviously he was like a self-made fucking billionaire.
He is good. He is good. Like,
is his advice good though? Is it worth the money to listen to? I imagine you have to pay for his book.
It is. Yeah, it is worth the money. Like, it comes down to like the same sort of philosophy, which is human emotion, right? It's like you offer something and then you take it away. Like, you make somebody want it for value. You make them see the benefit, like, in them, and you relate it back to their personal life. And yeah, like, what he says is like, it's legitimate, but also he was not a good dude.
Yeah, but do you know what? You get that famous. Where do you draw the line? Like, everyone that's made $100 million plus has done something bad to someone to make that money. Like, you have to.
He's turned it around now, though.
Yeah, but like, even just like getting a book published with fucking 10 million copies that's made in China, that's made in a sweatshop. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, when you make a certain amount of money, it's done off someone else's back, and you just have to fucking deal with that.
I don't know if this is too fuck for this podcast, but like, I saw a meme the other day, and it's just like, in China, when you get a gift that you made 5 hours ago. And the kid's just there, just like, oh.
Do you know what's fucked about China? They had all those Foxconn riots.
Yeah.
Do you know the Foxconn is at the iPhone factory? I think it's the iPhone factory in China. They had massive riots around it.
Yeah.
Because of the working conditions.
Yeah.
So at Foxconn, and this is a fact, it's not fake, it sounds fake. They were sick of people, because of the poor working conditions, jumping off of the roof and killing themselves and out the windows. So instead of fixing the working conditions, they placed a net around the building. It's so bad. So instead of like fixing the work conditions, they've thought, I'm just going to put a net around the building so I can catch the bodies.
They just spring back up,
and then they just put them back in. They just put them back in.
They should have trampolines.
And you know what? It's all because of these. So all of you pieces of shits out there who are real high and mighty on fucking the world, but you have an iPhone, you are supporting slavery. I personally don't care, because I like my phone. But all those people out there who are high and mighty about this and that, every time you pick up your iPhone, that's from slavery.
Yeah. It's like, you think you're a good person. Not anymore.
No, you think you're a good person when you post something on TikTok that's been pre-fucking determined, like you're giving a homeless cunt $100 bill and you have to get your phone out to fucking film it.
So, I was walking around in the valley the other week back in Brizzy, And I was just saying to homeless people, I was just like, look, if you have pay ID, like, I will transfer you money. But, like, your approach here is flawed. It's flawed.
I don't have cash.
Nobody carries cash around anymore.
They're going to start carrying around FBOS.
Nobody carries around cash. But if they have their pay ID teed up, and I said it to a few of them, I'm like, do you have pay ID? I'll transfer you money right now. No pay ID. But if they start adapting to the times, then...
Sold.
All sweet.
Sold. Fuck, it's been a long time since we talked, eh?
I know.
You haven't changed at all.
Nah, fuck no.
It's funny as.
I think I've got like fucking a little bit more out of control over time.
So many loose times.
More in control, but more out of control.
We were a pretty loose year level.
Yeah.
We were.
I was talking to a mate about this today, just about some times back in the day, because obviously I'm back in Adelaide for a couple of weeks.
Oh, sorry for cutting you off. Whoever thought I was lying about kidnapping that kid at Seaford Skate Park?
He'll come up in my people, you may know, like fucking right.
It was with Matty, because I messaged him after the podcast, because I was like, what's this with you? And he remembered. And
I remembered it.
And then the kid that we kidnapped added him on. If I sent him a fucking friend request that week. So weird. Zachary.
No, he's still in the people. Yeah, he's gone out of my people, you may know, but it was him.
How fucking weird was that?
Yeah, when you reminded me of that, I'm like, bro, that's pretty funny.
We didn't do anything bad to him. But you could get away with that's good fun back in the day.
Yeah.
Now you get fucking...
He was sweet with it. Yeah, so disclaimer, like we didn't fully kidnap some kid.
Like he wasn't fucking tied up and shit. He could have kicked the boot open.
He could have got out, but at the same time, like he was a kid back in the day riding a scooter, so he obviously needed to prove some street cred.
The first Eshe.
Yeah, he was like one of the founding fathers of being an Eshe.
Is there many Eshes in Brizzy?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, so I did an experiment on Eshes when I went out, and my mate went up to him like a David Attenborough documentary. He's like, oh, and here we have an Eshe in his natural habitat. And then he's like, no, actually, like I've never actually spoken to an Eshe before. Like I just want to know like what you guys are about. And we did an analysis on all of the Eshes that we spoke to. And one of the first things they said is like, I'm not an Eshe cunt. You know how much my kicks cost me? And they'd be like $300, and it'd just be like these limited edition TNs.
A standard pair of TNs is $250. Like that's a normal pair of shoes, though.
Oh, but no, that's more expensive than what I pay for kicks.
I love a good pair of TNs, though.
I'm getting my first pair of TNs.
Oh, they're so comfortable.
Yeah,
they're so comfortable. It's a shame what Eshes have done to that fucking brand.
I know,
because they are an amazing shoe.
Yeah, I have some friends. I have some friends that are like
they fucking ruined it.
Female friends, and they're just like, oh, there's nothing fucking sexier than a guy that wears TNs properly.
Yeah. What do you mean? Like on the fucking same foot, like left and right foot, you get it right? Or?
No, this is funny, bro. So like back in the day, I'm not gonna name names, but it'll still be like fun for the story. Is like when I went to Seaford, and one of the kids we used to hang out with, like his mum was like a mad darrow, right? Just mad darrow. But like, you know those kids you'd have and you know you'd be safe going to their house because like their mum would let you throw a party in that?
Yeah. You needed that, mate.
So, yeah, he would just let fucking everybody go to his house. And
destroy it.
And like throw a party and like destroy it. And his mum wouldn't care because she's darrow as fuck, like sort of thing.
She'd get drunk and like hit on one of the friends.
Yeah.
That are fucking 13.
Straight up like that. And then like try and like influence them with like shit.
A
like
bong.
Like behind the scenes. Just like, oh nah, you'll be fine.
Stay and have a cone.
Like fucking old lass like was fine like the other day. But there was one time because she used to like push a little bit of shit. And someone owed her a little bit of tick money. And I never saw her wear shoes. Like she'd walk through the shopping centre without shoes. Ugh. Fucking, yeah, one of those.
That's a bad one.
Oh, disgusting. And one time someone owed her tick money, and I remember fucking clear as day, man. She walked into her room. She's like, the only time I fucking put shoes on is when I'm ready to fucking stomp some heads, cunt. And then she just chucked her TNs on and just went out and got her tick money.
What a woman. What a woman.
Yeah, it's just like, fuck, man. Like
that is the stock standard Southern stereotypical woman.
Yeah, and the thing about the South as well is like, because I've known this from traveling out to like different places, is in the South, I feel like we grow up a lot differently to other people.
Well, we think it's normal.
We think it's normal. We think
But
it's
it's
normal.
not.
It's not. It's not. So come into Queensland and I'll speak about like my upbringing and stuff.
That's not normal.
They're just like, fuck, man. Like Adelaide sounded like the ghetto.
No, but fucking Queensland's such a docile place. I remember the first time I went to the sunny coast, like Maroochydore and shit, and I was fucking hanging out, and we were just, everyone's so like, just calm and just...
Yeah, gnarly, man.
It's
Like
like,
the waves
honestly,
were like 8 foot, man.
It sounds like a stereotype, but they're fucking, they're just so docile.
Do you know the best place I've ever lived? Have you ever been to Burleigh in the Gold Coast?
Burleigh Heads.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fucking nice there. Nice food, nice weather.
It's the first place I moved, and it's the reason why I moved to the Gold Coast, actually.
Burleigh's very nice.
I went up for a sales meeting, like I met a client in Burleigh, and then I just spent some time around there, walked down the beach, and then like walked up to the hill, chilled around there for a bit, and then my mate like had a room for rent, like, and then I ended up just moving up there, and it was on the Esplanade, like on the beach. Dude.
It's like, it's a really, really, really better version of Glenelg.
Yeah, that's exactly what I said. I'm like, this is like Glenelg, but heaps better. Because
It's like Glenelg in a nicer country.
in the morning, like you could wake up, just like bam, like go for your walk.
28
Like,
degrees.
You have the beach, and then you have the hill. But after that, you've got the rainforest. You have the rainforest after that, so you can go for an hour.
Then you drive fucking 4 hours and you're in the Sunshine Coast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sunny Coast is mad too.
Fucking nice.
It is mad.
Go to the hinterlands and shit. It's nice.
So I'm probably looking at moving from Brizzy like as soon as my lease is up. It's like I'm
Sunny.
either gonna go back here to Adelaide, or I'm gonna go to the Gold Coast to the south, because like back to what I was saying in the morning, in Burleigh, you go to the rainforest, like in Burleigh National Park. You walk around, because it used to be like a volcano or some shit. Like, it's fucking sick. You walk around it, you get to the top, and then you can overlook the whole of the Gold Coast.
Is that
way.
Tambourine Mountain?
No. So Burleigh Heads National Park, you look that way, you can see Surfers Paradise, you can see Broad Beach, you can see Mermaid, like all of that shit. But you look the other way, and the other way is where the Gold Coast shines. It's just like every beach there is fucking beautiful. It's beautiful as fuck. And then behind the national park, you have Tallabudgera. Tallabudgera was voted, it was the second best beach in the world.
No shit.
So it's half rainforest. So like you have like the rainforest of Burleigh, but then it's a massive creek, but it's actually like I don't know how you describe it, but it's like a little like dam of the beach.
No shit.
And then you have a jetty across it. So there's vines. There's like vines and shit you can like fucking swing out
That's
from.
crazy.
Oh, dude, it is the dopest shit.
It's
the dopest shit.
I've been to Harvey Bay a few times. I even love it up there.
Yeah, Queensland's just for like beaches and like just tropical
Chilling.
vibes. It's so sick.
It's just chilling. Is there many jobs up there though?
Yeah.
And like opportunity?
Yeah, there's heaps. There's heaps. So in the Gold Coast is notorious for like having like dodgy sales jobs.
Oh really?
Yeah, like
selling that Gold Coast dream.
I've had mates that have like, they've had jobs and they've just been like, yeah, they gave us burner phones. They gave us burner phones.
We're gonna get shut down
and
in
then
3
like
months.
they said the cops are coming and we've had to throw the burner phones out the window like spec.
No shit.
Yeah, I worked for a company, and it was we're doing lead generation for properties. So like, oh, like if you are 55 or like are over 55 or if you make this much income or whatnot, like you're qualified for an investment property. So you just had to get these details of people, just like, oh, their age, like how much they make, like how many kids they have, and like all this shit. And we had to change our name because like for the campaign, we just change our name to whatever sounded nice. So I'd be like, oh, we're calling from the Australian Retirement Campaign, or we're calling from the Commonwealth National Campaign, or whatever. Just so like people were like hooked in.
Yeah,
like,
right.
At that point. And there was a thing that like they had a number that you couldn't call back. So yeah, you'd make a call, and then I had a mate like back then, and like he just used to, because we could see the person's details when it came up. He just used to like say the same last name as like whatever the person's name was like on the screen, just to build a bit of a rapport. So yeah. For instance, he'd just be like, oh yeah, like it's Luke Vandersloot from like whatever, and then they'd be like, Vandersloot, and he'd be like, yeah, like Vandersloot, and she'd be like, no way, like that's the same name as me. And then like he's like, oh, like us Vandersloots like have to stick together. And like he'd like build like that rapport like straight up.
Just little tricks of the trade, eh?
And he'd be on Google just Googling like names and like
That's
the origins of them and
hilarious.
shit. And yeah, like then they just give him like the details like from there. And like I just seen him like every day just like Googling different shit and just like figuring out like the backgrounds of stuff. I'm just like, bro.
That's fucking hectic. There's a lot of money to be made stealing other people's money, though. There is.
No, but like for real facts, like the day and age that we're in now, there is so much opportunity. And like the way that I look at it is a lot of people say like today's day and age is fucked. Like
It's the best time in the world to make money.
it is the best time and it is the worst time. It is the best time and the worst time.
It depends what you want, though. If you're like when I bought this house, I rented this house out for 5 years. I bought this house when I was 21 or 22.
Yeah.
Like you can afford to do that back then. Now there's no 21-year-olds buying a house unless they're a crypto fucking smart kid or they know their way around graphic design. Do you know what I mean? Like because their deposit for a house has to be fucking 150 grand.
And I've had a mate, and it stuck true to me like ever since he said it. He's just like, oh, you know, back in the day, like when your parents bought a house and like, you know, they bought it for fucking peanuts and like it ended up going up this much. He said that like we're gonna have the same thing, but it's going to be with Web 3.0.
And even like this, it's happened now. When I bought this house, it was worth fuck all. Now it's worth almost. It's over double.
Yeah,
It's crazy. But with the Web 3.0, is that like...
the blockchain, crypto.
Isn't it, do you reckon that's still a thing, or is...
I think it is a thing if you're developing, not if you're
buying.
Not if you're buying.
If you're an investor.
The days of pump and dump coins,
Over.
that is over. I was in the point where pump and dump coins were fucking going off.
I jumped on just before.
So I had a mate that I was like, because I produce music, so like I was just there like making some beats. He comes over at like 7:38 in the morning, and he's like, look at this, and then he just like showed me his crypto wallet, and it was just like fucking 30k like increase for the day. I was like, what the fuck? He's like, yeah, I just made this token, and it was like a rebase token. So it's like, oh, it was pegged to the price of Ethereum, and depending on the price of Ethereum, you'd get a percentage of your wallet back depending on what Ethereum's price was. So if you
stake it, or something.
if you,
Is that what you call it?
Not staking it, but if you held a certain amount of this coin, you would get a percentage of your wallet back into your wallet based off of what Ethereum's price was. But the thing is, he controlled when that happened.
That's illegal? Is that highly illegal?
Well, that's the thing. In crypto, for a bit, there was massive loopholes.
They really cracked down on it now.
So it's not the same anymore.
Because Logan Paul's getting fucked over. Well, he's not getting fucked over. He deserves it. He scammed millions out of this coin.
With his NFT?
No, it was an NFT. It was like a game. He made this game years ago. It was like,
I don't know the details. I've seen it pop up, but I haven't looked into
this
the
guy,
details.
CoffeeZilla, did like a 3-part documentary on it on YouTube.
I've seen it pop up, yeah.
And he rorted so many. He fucking did it, shilled it for like a week, took all the money, then fucking bailed.
Fuck, bro.
And do you know what? This Australian bloke lost $500,000 on it.
Fucking Jesus.
Yeah.
Logan Paul, steady making those games.
Like, but why do you need to do that when you're Logan Paul? Like, do you know what I mean?
Logan Paul, like, you're making money from the WWE.
You're making money everywhere. You've got so many avenues. What's the point of, what's an extra $4 million of other people's money to you?
Yeah.
But that's probably just poor managing. Like, his manager probably teed that up and he thought, he just didn't read into it and he's like, yeah, let's do it.
Probably. Like, at that point, it's just like
another thing.
You've got the audience. Like what I was saying before is, if you've got an audience, like, no matter what, you can just push anything out.
That's another thing. Like, when you got an audience or a following or money makes money. Like, if you have $50 million, you can make 500 so easy.
Mm-hmm.
It would be easier to make the 450 million than it would be for us to make 100,000. Do you know what I mean? Like, just because they have the money.
They can sell whatever.
Or they could just look into just fucking houses, like just development.
Yeah.
Like, you could just develop. You could just buy fucking 10 acres and put fucking 300 slap and paste houses on them and just sit on them for 10 years. Do you know what I mean? Like, money just makes money. You'd have to be a real fucking cokehead to lose $100 million.
And there's people when they win the lotto, it's just like...
Yeah, it's just gone. But that's because they get so excited. I already got my lotto plan. Do you have a lotto plan?
A lotto plan.
Like, if you won $100 million, what's the first thing you're doing?
I'm not a great person to say that to, because I'm the type of person that would get fucking dancing monkeys, bro. I'd be the type of cunt that just like would just go extravagant with it, eh?
Yeah, I'd set myself up before I knew I would spend it all. I'd spend like 60% of the money on investment before I spent anything.
See, I get into and it sounds cliche, but like, you do only live once, and I'm just like, and I said this earlier tonight. I'm like, I live my life offensively. Like, I live it offensively. I'll fucking ask questions later. I do things first. And like, a lot of my mates are just like, that was a dumb decision. Like, why did you do that? Or like, you should have thought this through. But the thing is, like, a lot of people don't take risks. And my life has been based off of fucking up and then taking a risk.
It's better than
and then taking a risk, and then that risk is paid off. And then I'm here, and it's like, I fucked up, but I've taken a risk. And like, it's just been like good decisions.
You only miss the shots you take.
Yeah, exactly. And then like, if you're in a defensive mindset, just like, what happens? Like, if this happens or that happens, worrying is a useless function, man.
It's horrible.
It's a useless function. It's just like, you're putting shit into your head that like hasn't happened yet. And from that point, you're creating problems that haven't even arisen.
Yeah, it just doesn't. Like, there's a lot of people who are like, they're what if kind of people.
Yeah.
Well, you don't want to be that guy.
And it comes down to like social conditioning as well. So I realized this after going on a fucking extravagant mushroom trip on New Year's Eve last year. So a lot of my mates are going out and they were getting fucked up for that night. And I actually planned to take mushrooms to someone else, but it ended up falling through for that night. So I ended up with no plans, but I had $500 worth of mushrooms.
That's so many mushrooms.
So I ended up doing this program called Transformation Mastery. And it was just about like overcoming your ego and like what you can do like past your ego and whatnot. And I ate the mushrooms, and like for this course I tried to do it when I was sober, and like I couldn't understand it. Like, I understood it logically, but it didn't resonate with me internally. So when I did the mushrooms, he was just like I remember listening to it, and he was just saying like, you know, you can
So
be,
this is a thing you put on while you've taken the mushrooms, and instead of putting on music or anything, you put on this program
for 6 hours. And watched it. And he was just talking about like how there's coping versus thriving. And then you start like realizing this, like with people you see, there's people that just cope with life, or there's people that thrive. There's people that live in reaction, or there's people that live in creation. And I'm actually, at the moment, I've documented like all of these points down, and I want to write a book on it. So it's about releasing trauma and dealing with your own trauma. So what I started realizing when I did that course is the decision that you make in your mind, where like a lot of people just are in defense of like, oh shit, like I can't do this. You know, they've got all these limiting beliefs. You're in your own way. You're just in your own way 100%. Like, I won't be able to do this because I think, you know, like I'm not strong enough, or, you know, that's only for people that are talented.
Or I'm scared.
So what mushrooms actually allowed me to do was, instead of look at things logically and be like, oh, like based off this and my skill level, I was just like, wait, any other person that's fucking cut from the same cloth as me has done that. I'm like, I can do whatever. And like ever since then, like I've had that mindset. It's just been like, whatever I put my mind to, like I know that I can do it. And from there, it's just like things have just started escalating. Like for this year, like I ended up losing like 20 kilos, like started my own business. And the funny thing is, like I haven't even been trying 100%. Like I know that I've been working less this year. I've been working
just more
less,
efficient.
but I've been working more efficient. And like it comes down to having the actual belief within myself of like whatever situation that I'm in, I'm just like, I fucking crushed that. You know what? I crushed that. Like if you could tell me to go public speak in front of 2,000 people right now, and I would go up there and I'd be like, you know what? I can do that. No problem.
Yeah, no shit.
Because you think about a lot of your thoughts, and a lot of your thoughts come from social conditioning, right? So like...
And past traumas.
Past traumas are the same thing as social conditioning, right?
So that's under the same umbrella.
Yeah, so like social conditioning would be like... I used in the analogy of a stove. So like if you'd never touched a stove before, but a lot of people had touched a stove and they're like, oh, the stove is hot, don't touch it.
You're not going to touch a fucking stove.
You're not going to touch it. So you take...
I would touch the stove.
Because you're just a fucking loose cunt.
I would touch the stove.
Yeah, I'm the same.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Like a lot of people have that mentality of like, I'm not going to touch the stove because the stove's hot. And that's like, say if you're out and you do something weird and people are like, why are you doing that? That's weird. That comes from social conditioning, because over time they've thought about things that are weird. And like even this, like even a podcast right now, like this is something through social conditioning that people have just made up. And if you actually regulate your thoughts and be like, oh, like a lot of my thoughts are social conditioning, and if I broke this all down and then said like, what are my actual thoughts and my intuitions, like what would I do? And then you think about like, oh, like I just want to have fun, like I just want to, you know, responsibility is something a lot of people get fulfillment from. You just go out and just do those things that fulfill yourself. So that's something with me. Like I don't really give two fucks about social conditioning. Like if I do something and people are like, oh, you're a weird cunt for doing that, I'm just like, weird cunt, why?
Yeah.
Like where does that come from? It comes from a fucking opinion that has come from another opinion over time. And it's like another analogy of it, and this is a really powerful analogy to think of, is what if I told you, and this was like sought after from everybody, what if being fat was being hot?
It is now.
So
it's
like,
a thing.
So like if everyone was like, oh yeah, like the Kardashians and like all the Instagram models and shit like that, they were just fat as
pigs.
They were fucking pigs, bro. They were pigs. And then like everyone's like, I want to look like fucking
like Lizzo.
Kim Kardashian, she's fucking 500 kilos. Like, they're just there with their cakes, just like, just globbing the fuck out. But they had a positive association with eating all of those cakes, and then like they'd go out and take photos, and they'd be like, "Yeah, look at me! Like, just made 500 kilos." It's just a thought switch. It's
Like,
just
it's also like, what's normal? Like, what is social conditioning? Like, how come? Just like fucking the other day, I can't remember where I seen it, but someone's daughter came up to him and goes, "Why is the pen blue?" And the dad's like, "'Cause it's blue." And she's like, "Why?"
Yeah, it's true.
It's like, why? Like, what makes that pen blue?
Yeah.
What if I see that pen different to how you fucking see it?
And one thing, and like this will get like a lot of people through life because it's got me through like a lot, is sometimes you need to see like a different lane for your brain to go in. It's just like, all right, if this perspective isn't like helping you, maybe you need to go to a different perspective. Like, maybe you need to think, if you're in a place where shit's not going on for you and you're sitting there feeling sorry for yourself, maybe you need to jump into the paradigm of like, fuck, everyone's against me, I'm gonna show them different. And like that part of like fueling yourself out of anger and being like, you know what, I'm gonna fucking show everyone that I'm more, that gets you to the next point, and that gets you to progress. And then you change your paradigm from there, just like, all right, now I progressed, I'm gonna help other people from here. So like, it just comes down to perspective, man. That's a lot of life, eh?
What's the program called that you listen to?
Transformation Mastery.
Is it just on YouTube?
Yeah, you can find it if you go on YouTube. Yeah.
Yeah, no shit. I usually just listen to Spongle when I'm on mushrooms. Have you ever heard of Spongle?
I haven't heard of Spongle, no.
Spongle's a fucking trip.
What did he talk about?
Spongle? He doesn't talk. Oh, it's great when you're on like DMT or mushrooms.
I've never done DMT before.
That's like a...
I'm waiting for the right time for it.
Yeah, you don't want to just do it. I just did it once just to do it, and I was like, and I didn't break through or anything. It's fucking hectic though. Like, it is like, whoa, this is frightening. Like, but I remember the time I broke through.
Do you get into the waiting room or whatever?
No, fuck, I don't know where this fucking waiting room was, because I shot off like a fucking bat out of hell. I remember I was in the top of my yard, and we were all, like, there was 4 or 5 of us, and we were hammered.
Yeah.
Like, blackout. And I was looking at my mate, and like, you should do some DMT, because I have some here, and he's like, you do it first. And I was like, okay. So I went.
Just thinking it's some fucking sherbet.
I'd had it before, and I was like, it's hectic. It's like, it's really hectic, but you come out of it in 10 minutes, so it's fine. So I packed it.
Were you one with aliens and shit?
Bro, I packed it, smashed it, and all I remember was looking into my backyard. It was like in slow motion. The whole world just sucked in, and it was pitch black. And then this Chinese dragon was like a K away from me. You know the ones
Sounds like Crash Bandicoot.
You know the ones on you know the ones that they dance around with on Chinese New Year?
Yeah.
It was just dancing towards me from a distance, and then it came close to me, and it like picked me up, and then it was like flying around, and then and it was hectic, and then the aliens came, and it was fucking crazy.
Did you battle with the aliens on your Chinese dragon?
I battled those fucking aliens, and it felt like I was there for 3 hours.
But it's like 5 minutes.
Bro, it was hectic. It was like, oh fuck, I don't know if this is gonna stop. Like, I just don't know.
Well, DMT is apparently the chemical that's released in your brain, like when you die. Like
apparently,
the light at the end of the tunnel.
Apparently, and it's very like, if you've ever been choked out before, unconscious, the sensation you have right before you get choked unconscious is a very similar feeling.
Does anybody want to do DMT?
Oh no, it's a very similar. Or have you ever like nanged out?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very similar, like the start of it. But this is Spongle, and it's fucking gross. I don't know what it looks like when you're sober, but
sounds like Tekken.
Bro, you melt into your chair listening to this shit.
True.
Anyway, I don't know.
It just sounds like it's a speech on reverse.
I've always had
Put my thing down, flip it, and reverse it.
that little picture has caused me so much fucking grief in my lifetime because it always looks like he's moving.
Yeah.
But then you look at it when you're
And it's
sober,
still as fuck.
and he's just so still, and it's like, I swear you move.
Have you been to a bush doof before?
No.
Oh man, that was like one of the highlights of moving to Queensland.
Do they have him a lot over there?
Oh, dude,
There's a lot down
everywhere.
here. There is a lot down here.
I went to a bush doof, and I didn't expect anything of it. Like, I just like went with my mate, like sort of like being supportive of like his interests and stuff. And then I went to this bush doof, and I didn't realize at the time there was like world-renowned DJs that were playing at this bush doof. Like, I don't know if like you're into tech house or whatnot, but Chris Lake is like a fucking...
Never been a tech house kind of guy.
He's a major DJ, and I got to see him in an intimate like fucking bush doof, and now he plays like, he tours like all around the world, like big stages. And bush doofs are they're designed for when you're tripping, right? So like you go there, and then like you fucking look at the stage, and it's like there's mimes like as dancers, like they're just fucking doing the mime shit, and then you look around and there's just like all psychedelic shit like all around you, and you see the weirdest cunts there, but they're also so sick. Like, we met people on the bus, and they dressed as a deck of cards.
Oh, that spin me out too much.
They dressed as a deck of cards. Their whole group was a deck of cards. I had someone come up to me and they read me a few pages from a children's book. Like, they were talking about a horse that like lived in this lane, and then they just shut the book and they ran away. And there was someone that was walking a rubber duck. Yeah.
I don't know if I'm ready for that.
Someone came up to me and my ex-missus, and like, they're like, oh, I have some cards to give you. And they gave me one that was called Death. And they gave me one that was called, gave her one that was called Success, I'm pretty sure. And death for me was like death of old circumstances and moving like into the new, like a change of environment, like a change of scenery. And this is when I was moving house, like literally like I was moving house at that time, like moving away from like a mate that I'd been friends with for like 10, 15 years. And then hers was like success in all levels, like success, like in new experiences, like traveling. And she was going to Europe in 2 weeks.
No shit.
And like, he just gave us these cards and then just bounced.
Fuck that guy.
Like,
that's crazy.
You see people around there. There was my mates told me at Rabbit's Eat Lettuce they went to recently. Someone left this stick in the ground, but it had all of the utensils in it that like you ever needed. Like when you're at a doof, like it's a stick and it's got like a fucking thing for lines in it, and it's got like a stubby holder like for you to hold your drink in. It's just got like all of these utensils in it, just for anything you need at a doof, right? And it's just been left there, and they've picked up this stick, and they're like, what, this is fucking mad, like I can use like all this shit there, like just has shit hanging off of it. And they've walked around and they've seen somebody, and he's like, oh, you have my stick. And they're like, yeah, we left this here. We left this here for like somebody just to pick up, because we wanted someone to pick it up and like enjoy like everything that was like
no shit
on this stick. Even the drug dealers there, bro. Like you buy some shit from somebody, and the drug dealers will come up to you and they'll be like, how was it? Like if you need like to test it, like we have like a testing kit. And like, we just want to make sure that you have fun. And like, there's just this unwritten rule around the whole festival that everyone knows that they're there to get away from their 9 to 5 and like just fucking chill out and like just disconnect their brains. Even like going on the bus there, the security guard on the bus was like, look, we know you're going to do drugs. He's just like, we don't care. Just as long as you're safe. So, man, like,
because it's usually private property, so it can't be police.
No, it's like you think that it's like a small event, but some of these events have like 10, 20,000 people.
Yeah, well, I heard you can, because obviously a lot of bush doofs are on private property. A lot of people will hire out their acreages, and the bush doof will obviously do all the cleanup they will either pay for the venue or they'll help around the farm, like build something or do something that will benefit the farm, kind of thing.
Yeah, not in Queensland, bro.
Well, in Adelaide, apparently,
they get like literally like the biggest venues.
Yeah,
like,
no shit.
They have like Land Cruiser Mountain Park is where boho and rabbits are held, and it's like it's got like fucking it's got like a creek. It's literally massive, bro. Like there's like fucking thousands and thousands of people there.
Yeah, no shit.
And like even the cops there, like if you see cops there, they're just like fucking chill as like on the D floor.
They're just making sure no one gets stabbed.
I've seen people do lines like literally just on the D floor, like on the stage.
Yeah,
like,
no
just
shit.
on the stage, and no one gives a fuck. Someone's walking around like in a Santa outfit with a fucking sack on his back, just with nangs in it.
Nangs Anna.
Yeah.
Yeah, no shit.
So they're fucking awesome, bro. They're super awesome.
I gotta go to one. I do gotta go to one next year, 2023. It's almost 2023.
I know. 2023. What are your plans for 2023?
10,000 subs
10,000 subs?
by the end of the year.
You'll get there.
10,000 by the end of the year on YouTube.
It's like just utilize like any form of attention that you've got, eh?
I'm gonna go on Reddit next year.
Reddit.
I haven't delved into Reddit. I don't have a page for Reddit, but I want to get into that community as well.
Yeah.
Because they're menaces.
Yeah, they are menaces, dude.
It's the that is
You post something on Reddit and people are gonna roast
that is
fuck out of
the
you.
Silk Road of the internet. That is
Wait, if you ever need to know something,
a dark
if
place.
you ever need to know something, post that question into Google and then just like leave Reddit on the end.
Poor mate.
But you'll know you'll get the answer.
There is some dark places on that page.
You'll know you'll get the answer.
And those cunts don't fuck around. They're like the most elite trolls. You think Twitter's bad? You think Facebook's bad? People on Reddit are the fucking best at what they do.
Yeah.
Like, they will ruin your life. They're so good. They can triangulate your fucking location just from a comment. Like, they're such wizards. They're crazy.
Yeah, I got a few plans for 2023.
Yeah, you want to start your podcast?
I want to start
Or an internet presence?
internet presence in general. So gonna start my music production tutorials on YouTube. So it's gonna be like beginner based to like advanced level. So gonna do.
Is that just using softwares and
Ableton? Yeah. So like it'll just be like I'm gonna do a track from start to finish on YouTube, and it's gonna be in the style of like a certain artist. Because YouTube's also about keywords, and like a lot of things that pop off will be like how to make a track like this person, like how to make a track like that person. And last year I like made my thumbnails up, but like never started it. But this year it's just like, if you're learning something and you're getting better at it, why not take a viewer through it at the same time to like go through that? And I feel like I'm at the point, like I've got 2 tracks that are signed to labels now. Like I'm in talks for like some bigger labels as well, where I feel like next year is going to be my breakout year. I'm going to have a track that comes out. I already have maybe 5 or 6 tracks for an album that are already ready. And
what kind of music is it?
it's so I have 2 projects. I have Matt V for house music, and then I have Save Self for melodic techno, which is brand new. So no one has really heard, unless you're one of my close mates, no one has heard like my melodic techno stuff. So that's going to come out. I have a PR team behind me, graphic design, all of that shit. Have the same engineers as Golden Features, Dom Dollar, and all of that to like mix and master my tunes. So it's going to come out, and I don't want to be labeled as a resident DJ or like a club DJ or anything. I want to come out as like an actual artist. So like shit that you can listen to when you're in your car, like shit that you can listen to wherever. And like,
Where the money's at.
yeah. So gonna do that. Get that going, get my signing on a big label, and then I'm going to start hitting up clubs and then putting in as a headliner with a mix. So headlining some clubs and then like seeing if I can get like some international gigs, not international, interstate gigs booked. So that's the plan for music this year, which I'm already close to now, and I probably could do now, but I just haven't pushed it out because I want a bigger signing. Because as soon as I have that bigger signing, I've got more bargaining chips for wherever I want to play. And next thing is I'm going to start selling beats. So I make trap and hip hop beats as well.
Where do you sell them? Like Fiverr?
BeatStars.
BeatStars.
Yeah. So I'm going to start a YouTube channel, and the YouTube channel is just going to have Travis Scott type beat or Drake type beat or all these different types of beats. I'm going to start growing that just based off of just getting views to it and like the type of keyword volume or keyword search that's going on YouTube. So I'm going to do that. I'm also going to make YouTube shorts out of making those beats, because I've noticed, man, like even if I post it up, like just me on Ableton, just like, made a Juice WRLD type beat, and I've just like created a reel. Reels, I feel are broken at the moment when it comes to just like impressions and like how much volume you can get out there, because
you can. I got a couple that have hit like 40,000 views and stuff, but it is crazy
in comparison to like what you can get just as a normal post like on your Instagram profile, or just like,
it's crazy.
Dude,
it's because it's new. They push it through the algorithms so everyone uses it, because obviously everyone's using TikTok and YouTube Shorts.
Shorts are different. Like shorts is like where you can get the real views.
Yeah, and that leads you to like the long form content. Like, but the hard ones, like if you're big on TikTok, it's so hard to translate over to YouTube, like the subscriber count. Like on YouTube, I think on TikTok I have like 40,000 or 30 something thousand likes and like 2,000 subscribers and like maybe 500,000 views almost.
Yeah.
But they don't click on your fucking YouTube page and just subscribe. Do you know what I mean? Because they don't have YouTube accounts.
That's why you got to do the generic shit, like
YouTube,
click the bell. And
YouTube's the hardest platform to gain subscribers on, definitely, because no one on YouTube has an account.
You gotta think about like what's being done on YouTube and what's not being done, and in in music production, like, because I've learned like most of the shit in my life I've learned from YouTube. Like my whole entire business, digital marketing, I've learned it all from YouTube. Production, I've learned it all from YouTube. I learned so much shit.
It's a great fucking tool.
So much shit from YouTube, and if there's something that I need to learn, I know that I can learn it from YouTube, because it's just how my brain's wired. So yeah, for this year, like I'm just gonna look at like artists that people are popular, like they're popular, but they don't have many tutorials around. Then I'm just gonna start fucking hammering content, man. Like hammering out tutorials, hammering out YouTube shorts, translating them over to TikTok, putting them on Instagram Reels. But I'm not only just going to do that for music production, I'm going to do that for digital marketing as well. So
you got a busy year.
Anyone that wants to make they've got an e-commerce product and they want to get a higher return on ad spend, or if you've got like a service-based business, you want to get more leads through, like I'm going to show people how to set up tracking for Google Ads. I'm going to show people how to increase their return on ad spend based off of bidding strategies and LinkedIn ads, Facebook ads, TikTok ads. I'm just going to have a platform where I'm just going to fucking funnel content through. And I don't care if it gets no views. Like, I don't care if it gets zero.
At least you put it out there.
It's out there, and I know in time it will get views because of the algorithm. And what I do is I do search engine optimization. I do pay-per-click advertising, so I know how keywords work.
I don't yet.
I do. So
the reason we were talking about that Eminem clip before, it got that many views because I put Eminem in the title.
Yeah.
Like, that's a hot word.
So, YouTube is the sort of the same as Google, where it look at the keywords that you have in. Instagram is actually taking, it's sort of in the same stride, where it's looking at your captions now. It's looking at your captions and like how that will relate in terms of pushing it out. And then for TikTok, I'm not an expert on TikTok or anything, but I know organic TikTok is fucking broken. It's still broken.
It's so crazy.
I almost started a crystal business, and I told you this before, but one of my plans was influencer marketing, and I feel like influencer marketing
Huge.
On TikTok is still broken, man. It's still broken. All right.
Bing bong.
So Yeah, going back to products, right? So with a product at the moment, if you're using a product on, like, if you're trying to promote a product on TikTok, one smart strategy to do is influencer marketing. If you've got a product that's fucking trendy or it's sexy.
Is there monetization on TikTok? Because I don't think they get paid unless it's sponsorship or it's you live stream and you get sent gifts.
Doesn't matter if you have an e-com product.
Yeah, right. I need to talk to you. We'll talk off camera about, because one person that I've watched for years, but not because of his content, it's more because of his brain, is Mr. Beast.
I like Mr. Beast too.
But he
cool.
studied YouTube.
Oh, dude, he's just like, I listened to his JRE and it was just like, he fucking dedicated his life to that.
He knew that he was going to be famous. Yeah. Like, he knew. Yeah. That when you study something that much and you're in business meetings for 16 hours a day for 2 years talking about what strategy to take to become famous on YouTube specifically, his business is worth fucking $5 billion.
So that same philosophy, and like, you can ask any of my friends, because I've said it the same way. I'm like, I've always said to my friends, and there's been no shadow of a doubt, I've said, in 2 years you'll see me touring. I'll be touring for music in 2 years. Because I did lessons with like a popular tech house artist. He played at Festival X, John Summit. So I did Zoom lessons with him. And he sent over some of his projects, and I had dissected his projects. I'm like, this isn't even complicated, man. Like, I know how to do literally everything that he's done here. It's just the idea that he has is so good that, like, he's just pieced it all together. I'm like, oh, you just need a good idea. And like, some of the shit that I have like cooking up now, like in the works, is fire. It's really fire.
I think with my strategy with the podcast is, it's changed since I first started doing it. When I first started doing it, I was really looking at, like, the first maybe 10 episodes, I was looking at the views a lot, and I'd let them upset me.
Yeah.
Because
you got to go not give a fuck.
But the thing is, like, then I started looking into it more and researching it, because I've been researching it heaps for years. And obviously long form content, like 2-3 hour content, you're not going to get 5 fucking million views off the bat off one video.
I jumped on yours from day dot.
Yeah, but
and you probably wouldn't have thought that either.
No,
like,
shit.
I saw Barter on there. I was just like, oh, what cool. Sav's like starting his own thing.
Yeah.
And then I listened to him, and I started listening to like.
We fucked that up. We butchered that, bro. We did 10 minutes without recording, because I forgot to hit record the first time because I was nervous. He was drunk before he got here because he was nervous.
Yeah.
And I pressed record. I didn't press record, so we did the intro, and then I'm like, fuck, I didn't record it. Did it again, didn't record it. So that podcast took 3 takes to even start because I was so nervous. And now it's easy as.
Yeah.
It's just what I need now to upgrade another thing next year, so 10K subs I want. And by the end of the year, I want a young Jamie.
Yeah. What's that?
Like, I want a producer.
Yeah.
Like Joe Rogan's young Jamie.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's something that's going to benefit me a lot, because I'm just...
producer, like, as in they edit your videos?
No, not even that. Just someone sitting here with the laptop, switching the cameras while it's happening.
True.
If I ask a question or someone asks something, we can bring it up straight away, and it just makes the podcast flow better. And that way I don't have to spend hours editing it after, because at the moment that's the killer for me, because I've just had to learn all this. So it's not easy for me.
Yeah.
Like, this is a skill I've just learned this year, which is, cool.
You've done well, man.
It's cool that I can do it. Like, I love the fact that I know how to edit something now.
What do you use for editing? InDesign?
Adobe.
Adobe. After Effects or? Premiere, yeah.
Yeah, but
okay.
I was making my own clips and stuff, and I was like, fuck, this takes me 2 hours of my time to make one clip. And I do a mediocre job of it. I can outsource someone for $20 a clip, and they're going to do a 10 times better job in a quarter of the time.
That's my life philosophy, brother.
Yeah,
so I always drop the quote from Henry Ford. It's I
value time.
It's Henry Ford says a smart man knows where to get his resources from.
Yeah, like I value my time. To me is worth more than anything.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to spend 3 hours doing shit. That's why I will need a producer. But the thing, it's hard with a producer because you don't want to find someone that wants the money. You want someone that wants to build the brand.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like I want someone that wants to. Like they take a percentage. Like I don't have $500 to pay a fucking producer every week. But if they just come along for the ride, eventually they might fucking
Have it cut into that.
They might, if it takes off, they might just fucking work 2 days a week and make more money than anyone they know. Do you
Like
know what I
Jamie.
mean? Yeah, like young Jamie fucking was with Joe Rogan. He never knew what was going to come around the corner. He just stuck with him.
Yeah.
And now he's probably worth fucking $50 million.
What's your favorite JRE?
...2013 Joey Diaz.
I love Joey Diaz, bro.
2013, probably episode like 650 or something, around 600s or 800s.
A bucket.
Or just, I don't know, it's hard to say.
His ones with Duncan Trussell are really good.
Duncan Trussell's hilarious. Just that era probably of 2013 to 2018.
Yeah.
Just everyone was good. Like all of them were good. Like there's one with Shane Smith. He's the owner of Vice. He was the owner of Vice before Vice was shit.
Yeah.
And I've never...
Vice did get shit.
Vice is horrible now. It's horrible.
It did get shit.
But Vice used to be cool, and it was Shane Smith's brand, and he was friends with Joe Rogan. And I remember and I was looking at old podcast videos of him before. The audio is so bad, and the video is so grainy, and it's only 7 years ago. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And they got so fucking drunk on the podcast. I was like, when I first seen it, I was like, they're fucking like getting hammered. And they're just talking shit. What is this?
Speaking of that.
Boom, boom.
Cheers, bro.
Cheers, man. Happy 2023.
Cool.
That's an expensive shot.
Jeez.
Yeah. It's not good.
I've learned to relish in the shot. Like, they're all not going to be good. A shot's not going to be good, but like...
That's supposed to be good, though. It's really expensive. It's not it's not nice, though. You know what I mean?
I don't think a shot's ever nice.
Depends what it is. I am partial to a mezcal.
I haven't had one.
They're fucking like petrol.
Barter gave me some Irish whiskey before, and like, shout outs to Barter. That shit was pretty fire.
Yeah, he does know some stuff about some stuff. That seedy cunt.
That seedy motherfucker.
That seedy bar owning cunt. He's done really well.
Yeah, no, I was saying to him before, it's just like, I remember when Barter was like installing aircons back in the day, and he was making good cash for it.
And then he just took the fucking plunge and just went away.
Went away. He did a bit of architecture. He didn't realize that he liked architecture as a job.
He's the perfect example of what you said before about social. Fuck, what were you saying? What's the term? Social.
What's that?
When you're on mushrooms, social
conditioning.
Social conditioning. He's a perfect example of someone who doesn't give a fuck about social conditioning.
Yeah,
he just goes to the beat of his own drum.
Yeah,
always.
And you could tell that like the passion was there. And he was telling me before when we were drinking, he's like, oh yeah, I worked out at Crafers and like I was getting paid like fuck all, but like I drove there and like drove back, and like I was like, man, like you fucking had the passion for this like at the start. And that's why Nori's going to do so well, bro.
It's already doing amazing.
It's already doing
Food's
amazing.
Food's nice. Drink's
already
nice.
doing amazing.
Staff's good. He's a good business owner.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm super proud of him, man.
Yeah, he's a fucking good dude. He deserves it. He does deserve it. Man.
But yeah, like that's the thing, man. Like if you put like investment into your staff, and like they have their connected vision with you as well. Like if you've got a producer on the same thing.
That's the thing. You just need people that are like-minded around you that see your vision. And with this podcast, I honestly think that my goal. I'll start baby steps. I always said before I do the podcast, I want to be the biggest podcast in Australia within 4 years.
Yeah. You'll get there.
Which I think is easily obtainable.
You'll get there for sure.
And the first thing
you have the good mindset for it already.
The first thing I'm going to do when it happens or when it starts happening is all the people that I've reached out to that haven't gotten back to me or weren't interested. I'm going to publicly tell to suck my cock. Every single one of them. Nice. And I'm going to do it. I'm going to scull a beer for every single one of them. There's 5 people. I'm not going to say anything yet, but I got them down. There's 5 people that really piss me off.
Well, there's always people out there when you start anything. They will try and bring you down by just like saying the doubts in their mind.
It's not even that. It's just people that wouldn't come on because it's too small.
Yeah.
Like, how dare you? What do you mean? Like, what do you mean? Who the fuck are you?
Yeah.
You're a celebrity in Australia. That's like being the smartest person in a group of autistic children. You're not much. Like, you're a celebrity in Australia. You know what I mean?
Oh, you're on Love Island, bro.
You're on Love Island. Good on you, you fucking idiot.
Like my last ex-girlfriend, one of the first things she said to me is I look
and
like
by the
someone
way, I
from
don't
Love
mean
Island.
that about autistic children. Autistic children can be very smart. I know that. That was just a bad example, but fuck up.
I did a test online and it said 80% that I've got Asperger's.
Yeah, most of our fucking year level probably does.
So I ended up like doing the test with a few people at work and they all had Asperger's as well according to this test. So we just started the Aspie gang.
Aspie gang?
Yeah.
Aspie
gang
bros. I think I got the Aspies and the bit of the ADHD.
Well, the thing is, like, in this day and age, and it's a super big problem. It's like fucking people want to be too politically correct.
I just don't. Another thing with the podcast, a lot of people, like we were talking about certain people before, they have high-end jobs. They don't want to come on and get fucking stupid. But it's not always going to be like that.
Nah, but like you think about like how you have pronouns now.
I don't fuck with that.
So you have pronouns and it's just like, oh, you know, you have to identify me as like a they or a them. And I don't know if you've ever seen any of the documentaries with Matt Smith.
Is that the bloke who...
What is a Woman?
What is a Woman?
Yeah.
I haven't seen... Is that documentary available on YouTube?
No, it's on the Daily Wire.
Oh, is that Ben Shapiro's network? Yeah, fuck. Yeah. I've seen clips of it.
I'm pretty sure it's Ben Shapiro.
Is that the clip where he's like, you see a cat, what is the cat?
That is the one I always show people. If like they're just like, oh no, I've never seen that before, I'll send them that clip.
I think people can do whatever they want.
They can do whatever they want.
If you're born away and you feel away, do that. Don't push your shit onto me though.
100%. It's just like if you're gonna give me shit for not participating, in your little charade, then you know, like, why are you pushing that on me? Because
a lot of it's a power trip.
It's a power trip. It's an ego trip.
But it's also like if I say she to you and you say I don't identify, I'm not gonna fucking keep calling you a she out of spite to be a cock because I'm not a dickhead.
Yeah.
But why would you just brush it off?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Why can't you just fucking brush it off like a normal person? Just brush it off. I don't care. Like, don't push your shit onto me. I have enough issues in my life where if I say a wrong word to you, you're going to fucking arc up at me.
Yeah.
I'm from Morphettvale. I don't...
You don't know how we were raised out here, bro.
I don't care if you think you should have a cock or a pussy. I just don't care.
So, like, what
it doesn't affect me.
In that cat short that you would have seen is he goes up to a gay man in San Francisco and he's just like, oh, what is a woman? And then it's this gay man and he's just like,
I think he was even probably trans.
He was just like, I don't know, I'm a gay man. What do you think is a woman? And then like they're just like, oh, can you describe what a cat is to me? And then he just backtracks. He's just like, I'm so sorry. Like, I'm sorry that I've wasted your time.
Yeah, he just knew he fucked up. Because when you get into a conversation with someone that's educated and you can't just point things and say dumb shit and they have factual evidence behind them to say something.
So in that doco later on, they have this guy come on called Scott. And Scott was like gone through the transitional surgery and everything. And Scott was like an alpha female growing up and all through his adulthood. was a sales director, all this shit, and like did all of the transitional surgery. And Scott comes on to this doco, and Scott says, I'm going to die like within a couple of years because of the hormonal changes that I have done. And this is available to children.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Do you know parents let their fucking 5-year-olds transition?
Under 14. Under 14.
Fucking gross.
They can make their own decision.
No. Really?
Yeah, they can make their own decision to go through transitional surgery. And if you stop it, there was a person in Canada that tried to stop the transitional surgery. They got charged like as if it was like an assault.
Fucking oath.
So fucked up.
Have you said, we were talking actually, it's funny you mentioned that, we were talking at shop today about the Elliot Page. Do you know that one?
Nah.
You know that girl Ellen Page?
Nah.
She used to be really cute. She's an actress. And now she's Elliot.
No, I don't know.
She cut her tits off, put ab implants. It's not good. It's not good. Where is it? But
It's
do you know
like
what?
a
If he wants to do that, that's fine.
You don't need to say sorry. Right?
But you're doing that because you want to stay relevant. You're not doing it because you want to do it.
I could tell the whole entire audience right now that I identify as being a sexy motherfucker. And if you don't call me a sexy motherfucker... Oh. True. Yeah, so I could tell everybody, if you don't identify me as being a sexy motherfucker and I am a sexy motherfucker, then I can call you out as like mispronouncing me. It's the same shit. It's the same shit.
Dead naming, dead genering.
So if someone says, oh, you've got to address me as the pronouns of they, them, and then I said, no, you're wrong, I'm going to gender you as what you need to be gendered as, and they say, no, you're wrong, I could say, actually, my pronouns are, you're actually going to refer to me as being right.
I got a new run of merch in January, hopefully February.
What's the merch run?
So it's going to be t-shirts and it's going to have my pronouns are Sesh/Gremlin. And on the back it's going to be a
Nice.
DMT molecule.
Nice.
But the molecule name's going to be CUNT.
Nice.
DMT.
I've actually thought of like the same thing of like having Sesh apparel.
Sesh apparel.
So in our group we have a thing where we have like Sesh gear.
See, Uncle Rico's the original for me. I love a good fucking Uncle Rico.
We have all Uncle Rico stuff, so we've got a mixture.
Shout out to Uncle Rico, sponsor me.
Shout outs to Uncle Rico and Classy Duds. Classy Duds is good too. So one of my good mates, Alistair, who I live with in Brisbane, he has the Let's Party Cunts bucket hat.
Yeah.
And the thing is, Alistair is such a funny cunt, bro. And this is like the cunt that I've talked about, like starting a podcast with. Like fucking when I first met him on the first night, we're like, oi, like a podcast would pop off. So he has the Let's Party Cunts bucket hat. And the thing is, when you meet Alistair when he's sober, he's the most switched on smart cunt. He's in IT, like he's fucking like just drilled down on his shit, like fucking knows his shit. But as soon as he takes a couple of caps of MD, he's like the most cooked motherfucker.
Exactly. I don't know if you've partied with Kyle Farrell before.
No.
But he's literally the smartest human being alive. He's always been the smartest. You know Kyle.
Yeah, I know
He's
Kyle.
always been the smartest person alive, like ever.
Yeah.
He's a genius, a legitimate genius. As soon as a bit of beer touches his lips, he turns into a 1923 fucking savage. He's an animal. He is a fucking wildebeest of a person.
So I'll give you the backstory of Alistair. So I met him at a Bushdorf, and I met him at the front of a cop station. So we're waiting for the bus to pick us up to like take us to the Dorf, but it took way too long. And I couldn't wait because I was like, this is taking way too fucking long. And I had a bottle of Captain Morgan. So I just ended up fucking necking the bottle of Captain Morgan. I was fucking blind, bro. I was blind, and I go onto the bus and I start talking about aliens, like just conspiracies about aliens and shit. And then we get to the bus leaves, and then I start vomiting out the window just profusely. And Alistair was concerned at the time that fucking my head was going to get taken off by a tree, because we're going through all the fucking like sunny coast, like all the forest and shit. And I'm vomiting out the window. My missus needed a piss because she had a fucking really shit bladder. So she's fucking pissing in a cup and fucking throwing it out of the window.
That's not ideal.
While I'm vomiting at the same time. And then Alistair's like, doesn't know me, but he's like pulling my head in to like not get hit by trees.
That's fucking love.
And then fucking I get out of the bus, and then my missus like fucking yells at me, and she's just like, you're fucking useless, cunt. Like, you can't fucking set up a tent, because we're supposed to set up a tent to go camping. And I'm like, no, I can still do it. And like, I'm crawling like the scene in fucking Wolf of Wall Street with the lemons. Like, I'm just like,
the lemons.
I'm just like, no, I can do it.
Great movie, see.
And I kid you not, like fucking a car just rolls up right in front of me. And they're like, oi, you like need help with your tent, brother? I'm like, yeah, I need help with my tent. And then like, there was like 10 cunts that just jump out of this small car, and they just fucking put together my tent, like all sweet. And they're just like, have a good one. I was just like, that's it, like classic fucking Matty V standard. Like, there's just always some motherfucker out there that's watching out over me that'll help me succeed. I'm like, yeah, dope. So like, hadn't seen Alistair, and like I met like his missus like a couple of years ago, like just like having a few casual drinks and stuff, but like I forgot who she was. And then like when I was cooked throughout the festival, I was like, oi, I think I know you from somewhere. And we're like, oh, like back in the day, like 2017, like no shit, like I remember you. And then me and Alistair were just sitting there, and I was on acid. And we looked at this stick like that was on the ground. I'm like, oi, like fucking, that's a fucking powerful stick, eh? Like that stick, like it could really cause some damage. And we're like, yeah, this stick could take over the world, cunt. Like it could just fucking like do whatever it wants and just bash all the cunts here. And I was like, oh, if we took this stick to court, do you reckon the charges would stick? And then I said to him, I was just like, oh, do you want to go back to the campsite and just like talk some shit with us, bro? And then like he literally stood up and he fucking like shook my hand, and he's just like, why do you think I fucking traveled all this way for? And then like we've walked back to the campsite, and then we've like talked about he's like got this like grand goal of like having the Ice Age come back. And
yeah, right.
He was talking about like back in the Ice Age, right? So I was going to save this for the kick-ons podcast, but like this is going to fucking come out now. So in the Ice Age, the mammoths, because they were so fucking humongous, they would have had to have humongous pipes.
Wait, say it again.
Because the mammoths were so huge, they would have to have humongous pipes.
You'd imagine they'd be like 20% larger than a modern day elephant.
Yeah, so we were like, oh shit, like if mammoths have pipes that big and they can get you fucked up, like I want to like a shot at those mammoth pipes, bro. Yeah. And we're like, oh fuck, like how do you even maneuver a mammoth pipe to smoke it? And we're like, oh, you need to go to BCF, like camping and fishing, and like fucking get utensils, like just to hold them in place and that.
You'd want to go to Bunnings, I reckon.
Bunnings, you reckon?
Bunnings.
Yeah.
It's more practical shit. I don't know. It's a mammoth pipe.
We got some fucking...
How big is a tusk?
Yeah. But then we started
You'd imagine it's a meter.
Yeah, like they've got big mouths and like.
You'd have to say it's a meter.
Because our theory was the Ice Age ended, so there's mammoths out there that are sitting in caves and they just want to continue it.
They just want to continue the sesh.
Fucking Ice Age, cunt. And they just have their fucking mammoth pipes. So we're just like, oh, this is what we came back like at this bush stuff. We're just like, oh, how do we fucking infiltrate like these cunts to like steal their pipes? And we're like, wait, like, because they'd be like so protective of their pipes because the mammoth, the Ice Age is ended and like they're just chilling with their shit, is like, I'm pretty sure they'd be guarded. Like, they'd be guarded. And we're like, all right, so they've got mammoth guards and they might have mammoth cops that are like fucking like trying to make sure that the mammoth pipes are sweet, because they're obviously mammoths too, and they just want to fucking hit the mammoth pipe because obviously you want it.
Well, there you go. The plot of Ice Age 7.
Yeah, you want it. So we're like, how do we get past the mammoth cops? And we're like, oh, who's really good at like fucking like being a hustler and getting shot and like fucking not dying in that? And we're like, oh, 50 Cent. And we're like, oh yeah, he got shot 9 times and just got more gangster.
Yeah, he did.
After he got shot,
He did.
It's like the bullets hit him in the perfect way to like make him more gangster when he rapped.
Imagine if he didn't get shot, though. He
Right.
wouldn't be famous.
No, he wouldn't. It's just like they hit his jaw in the perfect line.
Well, he wouldn't
just to
have-
be like, yeah, my mama confused when she kissing the girl.
He wouldn't have anything to rap about. In half of his songs, it's talking about how he got shot 9 times.
I know.
He wouldn't have anything to rap about.
He wouldn't. So we're just like, yeah, we'd send 50 Cent in. And then like we started debating the topic of like, wait, are the mammoth cops addicted to the mammoth pipes or are they not? And I'm like, what would be easier? I'm like, well, if they're on the mammoth pipe, they're gonna be erratic as fuck.
Yeah, they'd be fun. And don't forget, these are like 750 kilo animals.
Yeah, and they're gonna be like sussing you out, like, oh, they're like, oh, I can't, like, I had the mammoth pipe, I'll fucking pay you next Tuesday.
They all have Australian accents. They just all have it. Everyone.
I'll pay you next Tuesday, bro. Trust. I've got mammoth fucking down, bro. I can give you some fucking tip, cunt.
That is the fucking by far the weirdest tangent that's ever been had on this podcast.
But
That's a proper Theo Von just ramble right there.
shout outs to Theo. Von,
Shout outs
bro.
to Theo.
I fucking love Theo.
Have
Von.
you seen his clip with Bobby Lee's like, what does it feel like to wake up Asian?
I can tell you, cunt. I can tell you. I know, but like I'm gonna expand on this. So fucking, we've debated this topic about the mammoth pipes, and it's never come to a conclusion unless somebody, within the days of them being dreaded and weary through the sesh, bring it up. And then we'll be like, oh, the Ice Age. And then we just like, shoo,
Slip it in.
let me fucking talk to you about
Like
the
a
Ice
doctor.
Age, cunt. But there's a few others. So we've created a little bit of a universe, like, through the kick-on. And one of them is Jester. And, like, if any of you cunts out there, like, if you fucking trust Jester, like, I don't want to know you, eh?
What's a Jester?
So Jester is a rat. He's like an actual rat. He's a rat. But he steals your drugs.
Is he in the same universe as the mammoths?
He'd be there somewhere. But Jester, if he steals drugs, but he doesn't do it for profit. And that's fucked up. I'm like, if you steal drugs, like, you have Lucifer, and like Lucifer will like fucking steal your drugs, but like he does it for profit. And it's just like, it's justifiable. It's just like, oh yeah, like you're just going to sell them off because you're the devil or whatever. But Jester, bro, Jester will fucking steal your drugs and he just does it because he's a shit cunt.
Just for a laugh.
Just for a laugh, bro.
That's the worst kind of person.
I wasn't there at the time, but Alistair was telling me that he was at kick-ons and then like their drugs went missing, and there was this rat that was scurrying around this fence, and everybody was convinced like this rat was like fucking stealing their drugs. So fucking they got darts out and they were like trying to fucking like, when he came around, just like kill him. But they couldn't get him in time, so they like plotted like a torture method where there's like, oh, we're gonna fill his tail with fucking steel balls and like really torture the cunt like until he fucking dies and shit.
This is a real dark. This just got really dark.
Oh, but no, if you're stealing somebody's drugs for no profit, that's like what you deserve. But like, so that's Jester. But then I ended up expanding on Jester and I gave him a backstory. So Jester's backstory is like, he was in the Cold War and like, he actually got addicted to scripts like through the time. But like, he has like a 1980s like a villain accent. It's like,
like a French.
Like, I'm going to steal your drugs, see? What you going to do about it, huh? Like, that's what he talks like. And yeah, he got addicted to scriptos like fucking through when he was in the war. So after he got out of the war, like he had PTSD and like he just couldn't fucking live with his shit. So he's like, oh, like I need to get a hit, huh? And then fucking he just went around and then he started going to random kick-ons all around the world. And then he started stealing everybody's drugs. And like, that's not cool, bro. But like, Jester doesn't work alone, man. He doesn't work alone.
He's like an army.
No, he's got 2 right-hand men. So he's got fucking Gavin. He's got Gavin, who's his statistics analyst.
He plots whether it's worth the risk. Like a risk analysis.
Yeah. So he's Gavin's like the way that I see him, he's got big glasses on, and then he's got a spiky mohawk and he's got a beak.
What about that yellow hat that the old tax people used to wear? You know the one? When they're doing all their tax and they just fucking crank that thing and all the receipts come out.
He could have one of those, eh? But yeah, Gavin's like, Justifier, like I see the landscape of this kick-ons and I don't feel like it's adequate to our statistics. And he's like, oh, well, you might have to get a few $1,000s of drugs here, but I don't think it's worth the rest. And then like he'll run him through his little statistics calculator, and Jester will be like, yes, like probably worth the pickings, Gavin. Good spotting.
Well, that's cooked.
And then he's got some other guy. I don't think we've given him a name yet. But there's always the criminal mastermind.
Mr. Epstein.
And then there's the dumb cunt. There's always the dumb
like
cunt.
Rufus. Did you, boss?
Yeah, exactly like that. He's
Do you know what you're basically plotting out? Do you watch South Park?
Yeah.
You know those disabled kids?
Mimsy.
Shut up, Mimsy.
Yeah, like that. So we've said that he's like a devil, but he's only got one wing. So he just flies around in circles. And then the same thing is that, like Mimsy, he's just like, oh, what do I do, boss?
Shut up, Mimsy.
And then like we'll fucking get him to do some shit and he just fucks it up like mad hard.
And he only has one wing because he did too much cat one night.
Yeah, and he
sold it.
He just spins around. So they're those cunts. And like if you ever in our friend group like say that you trust Jester, like it's a big deal.
It's a big thing. That could be your first merch drop.
It's like, no, like we have to step outside
and have a chat.
No, it's like we're gonna punch on. We're gonna punch on.
Oh, the old Jester.
Like if someone was just like, cunt, like I trust Jester and there's fucking nothing you can do about it, cunt. Like I'd be like, get your things.
That's it.
We're going out.
We're done.
We're going out to punch on. We had a mate that was like, yeah, like
this reminds me of What's the fucking name of the unicorn on YouTube?
Charlie.
Charlie the fucking unicorn. This is such an episode of Charlie the unicorn. Do you know they capped it off? There's 2 new episodes.
Oh, I didn't know that
they brought out 2 new episodes like 2 years ago or a year ago or something. But this whole scenario is very like Charlie the unicorn or salad fingers.
Oh man, fucking salad fingers is fucked up, eh?
That's what I'm saying. We had the best era because we were on YouTube and there was salad finger. We're like, we don't know what's happening.
Do you like Big Les?
Big Les is hilarious.
I fucking love Big Les. Bro.
Big Les is hilarious.
Do you see the spider, mate? It's like his boots just laid out with fucking shit. So yeah, going back to the Majestic thing, we've got Lucifer as well, and Lucifer's like obviously like the devil and that. But Lucy also has like a super hot secretary, and like the super hot secretary like just lures you in, like as all girls do. She lures you in, and then Lucifer, he will steal your drugs, but then he'll sell them.
He's a good dude.
And yeah, when I met Alistair, we actually started talking about the concept of Neanderthals, and how Neanderthals, if they go to heaven, they'd be mad, like they'd be so devout, because like Neanderthals would go to heaven, and they'd see humans there, but they'd see the human chicks.
Like, you don't reckon they'd be into him?
They would be into him so hard, bro.
Yeah.
Like, imagine, like, just an Insta-famous model there.
They wouldn't be in heaven.
And then, like...
All those Insta-famous models, they're going to hell.
Yeah.
Everyone you see on social media is going straight to fucking hell.
Lucifer's like, you're making me money, bitch.
They're all going to fucking hell.
But we're just like, oh, if you saw one up there, like, and if you're a Neanderthal, and then you've got to look over and you've got your Neanderthal missus, and you're just like, oh, like, you're fucking, like, in the beginning, you came from a salmon, and the salmon swam up and it became a fucking amphibian, and then the amphibian became a monkey. It's just like, you're not going to want to fuck her because you see this Insta-famous model. And I was just like, because this is what I do, bro. Like, I think of business ideas, like, fucking, like, I literally can't go to sleep sometimes because I'm just thinking about business ideas or products that I can sell on the internet. I'm just like, oh, dude, like, Neanderthal VR.
Where you're just like a simulator.
Yeah, so like you fucking, the Neanderthal in heaven, like, will fucking chuck on its VR, but like it looks at the Neanderthal missus and it just looks like an influencer. and it's just like pumping away, just like, yeah.
There's a fucking question to think about. If God was real and Jesus was real, whatever, where did everyone go before those cunts came around?
That's what I think about Panadol. Panadol is just like instant relief. I'm like, when Panadol wasn't created, just nobody had relief.
No, you had the fucking milk of the poppy.
Milk of the poppy.
Yeah,
bro.
the fucking milk of the poppy.
Yeah, you gotta have Allison going out, like, fucking give it some feet pics.
I watched that movie on Netflix, something, The Frontline, Western Frontline.
Are you Game of Thrones fan?
Oh, yeah, I was a dick rider. I was a massive Game of Thrones
I'm
dick
a Game
rider.
of Thrones
Oh,
fan
have you watched House Targaryen?
House Dragon.
House Dragon?
What do you think?
It was really average up until the last 3 episodes.
I thought the same thing.
It went so hard. That last episode was like, whoa.
Dude, as soon as like fucking Aegon like went into his like steed as the king, and then like fucking Rhaenys came down with her dragon, and it's
Lord.
Yeah, bro.
I was fucking my dick got hard at the end of that.
So yeah, bro, I think Game of Thrones is like fucking one of the most.
But the
brilliant
last
shows.
season was so
So
bad.
so garbage.
Because I'd love to watch Game of Thrones again, but I know there's no point.
So I got a question for you. How would you rewrite the last season of Game of Thrones?
I wouldn't make Khaleesi go fucking batshit crazy for one. I don't know. They could have done it, but they could have slow built it. They just.
I wouldn't have made it go batshit crazy at all.
Oh, if they did it, they could have done it in a season prior and built up to it.
Yeah.
Like built up to the
It
instead
happened out of nowhere.
and it was like it was so dramatic. She just killed everyone in the city.
Yeah.
Like everyone. And it was like, oh my god, why would you do that?
The biggest ball they dropped was fucking, I think it was Jamie and Cersei.
Yeah, they gave him a great ending.
They built Jamie up for ages, from turning him into a bad cunt that pushed Bran out of the window, and like he slowly built himself up into being this like noble character.
Awesome fucking U-turn. But then they gave Cersei like a really great, and that's how they wanted to die.
Jamie should have killed Cersei.
I want him to like a bit of torture.
Jamie should have, he should have tortured Cersei, and he should have killed Cersei.
And the fucking other thing that pissed me off heaps was they gave Brandon the fucking throne.
No, I know.
The gross cunt. And then what else they fuck up? The fight between the White Walkers and the
like Arya killing the fuck.
not even Arya killing him. It's like fucking
John should have killed the White Walkers.
What did they?
Like the Night King.
Was
He
it
should have killed
7?
them.
Was it
He
7?
should have killed him.
Was it 7 seasons?
Yeah.
So they built up 7 seasons to this epic battle, and it lasted 3 minutes.
I know.
Why didn't Khaleesi come in on a fucking dragon, jump off the cunt, almost fall to her death, and then a dragon swoop her up and fucking kill the Daywalker? You know what I mean? Or the
Yeah.
White Walker. Something like that. Or it was just like
I
this.
reckon John should have had an epic battle with the Night King.
Yeah, like a good
Like
fight.
it should have been, because you build up John to be this fucking wicked swordsman like through the whole entire show, and like him being Aegon, the fucking coming of whatever number, because there's Aegon billions in Game of Thrones. Him going up against the Night King and then fucking killing the Night King. But they just had Arya just fucking coming up and be like, and then like all of the like other White Walkers like going into the place where all the women and children were hiding. I'm like, why hide in a joint that you're just gonna get fucking raided for?
It just doesn't make sense what they did.
No, I know.
I hope House of the Dragon fucking nails it.
Do you know what like ends up happening in that show?
I do because I fucking got a spoiler on fucking TikTok, because there's a Easter. I haven't read the books, so there's an Easter egg in Game of Thrones of what happens to Rhaena.
Yeah, Joffrey.
Yeah, there's that Easter egg, and then I watched it, and I don't know why I kept fucking watching it. I was like, oh, that's cool, but she's not even my favorite character in the, actually. I don't know who's my favorite character in that show.
But the thing is,
My favorite character is who's her cousin she's banging?
Damon.
That's my favorite character.
Fucking like, I had to leave all of like the House of the Dragon pages and all of that, because like it ended up being like mad politically correct, where they're like, oh, like he was grooming her, and like all of this.
Mate, it's fucking.
They're already. She's
200
fucking her uncle. Just leave it alone.
It's like 27,000 BC.
Yeah.
It was acceptable then. Like everyone was fucking
They're like,
everyone.
oh, but like he was grooming her, and
Back in those days, literally old enough to bleed, old enough to breed. That was the fucking mantra of that era.
I didn't say this, but old enough to breathe, old enough to.
But back then, that was how it was. Like, as soon as you bled, I'm not saying it's fucking correct, but it's a fucking fantasy show.
Yeah.
Do you know what pissed me off today?
What?
I looked on Facebook and there's fucking 7 News again. Hot cross buns available on market. Do you think it's too early?
Fuck the news, cunt.
It's a pastry. Who cares when
You
they
don't
sell
have
it?
to buy them.
But there's obviously a demand for them because they sell them.
Yeah.
If you are on Facebook, and I read the comments, all these old people, and it's disgraceful. Why? Because they're selling a fucking sultana roll with a fucking cross on it.
That you don't even buy.
You've never been to church, Darryl. You don't care.
Yeah.
It's not the man himself's fucking boned and fucking shit in the bread. Like, what are you talking about?
The older generation, they grew up different. And this is something
Yeah, do you know
I've
what?
realised
It's
with my
not
parents.
our fault that World War II happened. It's not my fault.
And like I've said to my dad, and fucking shout outs to my old man, love my old man, but like he never adapted to technology. Like
They don't. At all. No, none of them do.
He lost his bank card, and he was just like, he called me and he's like, mate, this world's left me behind. Like, I don't know what to do. I'm like, you got cardless cash or you've got internet banking. He's like, I don't know how to do that shit. So he rolled into the bank, and he tried to sort some shit out. And for some reason, they told him to just go back online and like to just sort it out there. And he just said like, you motherfuckers have left me behind. He's like, what about all of us? Like, you fucking left us all behind. He's like, what am I supposed to do? And then like I called him and he's like stressing out. And I'm like, Dad, like, how did you learn how to drive a car? I'm like, you put the time in, like you learned. I'm like, just give it a day, 6 hours, internet banking.
Do you know what? I reckon it's the thumb dexterity. They just don't have it because they're not used to it.
Do you follow the Batuta Advocate?
Yeah.
I fucking love the Batuta
Do you know
Advocate.
it took me like 2 years to realise that their articles are like half satire?
No way.
Yeah, because James Conahan always used to post their things and I'm like, these news articles are wild. And it took me like literally, and for like the first 2 years I thought it was called the Beetroot Advocate. So I was like, what is this company? And their titles would be so outlandish and I'd be like, did that happen?
Yeah.
And it's crazy. Yeah. Do you want to take a piss?
Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's like, fuck. I got heaps of different friend groups going into Perth. So there's one friend group that are doing a buck show while we're there. And then there's like the gym, the fight gym, they're all going over.
So are you friends with Jamie Harrison?
Yeah, I seen Jamie today.
Oh, fuck, bro. Like, I fucking messaged him and I was like, oh, I catch up in Perth and shit.
Yeah, he's coming.
I didn't know you were mates with him, eh?
Yeah, he's coming. I think he might come, but he's just got a new job.
Yeah, well, he said he was going.
Yeah, he got a ticket, but he just got a new job, FIFO.
Yeah.
So, on a brig, so I don't know if he's gonna, like, if his schedule's gonna line up.
Yeah.
But if he comes,
He's a mad cunt.
He's one of the sweetest dudes in the world.
He's a good cunt, bro.
And he's a fucking maniac.
Is he?
Oh, mate.
I haven't seen him fight.
Oh, just rolling. He's just so good at jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
He's a
He's been doing
phenomenal
it for
fighter.
fucking ages now, eh?
He's phenomenal. He's great. He's really good. He's great at stand-up too. He's just good all around.
Oh, if I move back down, I'll fucking end up training with you guys, eh?
Would you ever, do you want to move back down though?
I do.
It's really, you miss Adelaide?
Yeah.
Why?
My old man's like fucking like...
Old.
He's in his 80s.
Yeah, right.
And like I've been walking the dog with him and it's like been like... Yeah, like...
It's been nice being back.
No, it's been like he does it twice a day, but he walks way slower now. And like it's hard for him to get up and stuff. And like before I left, like I was his best mate. So I'd always go around and like catch up with him. And like now, like he doesn't have that.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, if I come down, like I'll get a dog and like we can walk our dogs together and shit like that.
Have something more to live for.
Yeah, because it's hard when you retire, bro.
Yeah, that's when you start getting old.
Yeah.
When you stop working, that's when you get old.
And the thing is, like, everyone's like, oh, like, you know, like, you want to have money when you're old. What the fuck are you going to do when you're old?
Yeah, nothing.
It's like, you want money when you're young.
You want money from 25 to 50.
Yeah.
Other than that, who gives a fuck? Your kids are going to take it all anyway.
So I've always said, as soon as I turn 80, I'm just going to get on heroin.
Yeah, do it. Try it out. Why not?
Yeah,
Why not?
It's just like you're in the retirement home and you just got like some fucking sketchy cunt just like, oi, yeah, here's your big H, bro.
Every single thing that you wanted to try when you were younger but you were scared of, you should try at 80.
Yeah.
Because that's the fucking time.
If you see me in a retirement home, I'm just going to be like...
Just punch nangs.
Oh, man. Nangs, man.
They're so bad.
They're so bad for you.
They are
They
one
are
of the...
fucking so bad, but they are so good.
They are, but they're just so bad. They're so bad, and you don't realise how bad they are.
They're terrible.
Until you get fucking really done in on them one night. And,
Yeah.
You know, and you just... And it's so bad. It is bad.
So I'm talking to a chick at the moment, and she lives in Melbourne, but I met her at a kick-ons in Queensland, and like she must have been, I don't know if she was like fucked after the festival or like whatnot, but we just sat there and we just smashed nangs together, but she was like with another dude, so like I didn't know like whether I could like make a move or not like on her. But yeah, we just smashed nangs together, and then I ended up following her on Instagram. I'm like, oh, she's actually like fucking like super healthy and like into the gym and like wants to compete and like all this shit. And then like, yeah, we've been speaking for the past couple of months. So I was like, it's so weird that we met like
Punching nangs.
under those circumstances.
Yeah.
Like we were just like punching nangs
You'd
and
be
shit.
surprised who does what.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Everyone's got a fucking crazy side.
Oh,
I've always had it.
I've said this to numerous people. Like, I feel like the older I get, like the crazier I get.
Yeah, my looseness has always been pretty much on display. So
Yeah,
I don't
me
have
too.
it. Like, do you know what I mean? And it's good because you don't have to hide it. But
I don't hide shit, man. It's just like what you see is what you get with me, and like always expect the unexpected, because I'm always that cunt that could just fucking turn around and do some shit, or where everybody and all of your fucking girlfriends are screaming, going, "Oh my god, don't do that, Matt! Like fuck, like that's so bad! Like you gotta stop." But I'll do it. And at the same time,
what I'll do, I got a big day tomorrow, so we're going to finish this up here. But I would love to see you at the bottom of one of these beers for
Straight
2022.
straight up, brother.
It's been a pleasure.
I fucking back in the country, my mate used to bet money on me for Skull and Beers, because that was the only skill I had out of being a drug dealer when I was 18. That was the only skill that I had.
It's a good way to make a living.
So I was just like, yeah, like take me down to the pub, and he used to bet money on me for fucking Skull and Drink. So it's just stuck with me, eh?
All right, Matt. I appreciate you coming on.
Appreciate you, brother.
Thank you, brother. It was fucking
Mad
really
dog.
fun. Anytime you're down in Adelaide, you're welcome on here.
Fucking same goes when the podcast starts, brother.
Thank you.
Do you beat me?
Yeah. Merry fucking New Year, everyone.
Hope you have a fucking dreaded 2023, cunts.